Senate. My name is Audt. I am the senator of the county before us, Vihiga, and I'm the chair of this committee.
Thank you, Governor and members. My name is William Isam, senator from Vihiga County, member of the committee and the sessional chair now because of what we are saying. Secretary?
Yusuf Shumwe Clerk of the Committee. Tariq Mali Clerk of the Committee.
Code Kenya Clerk to the committee.
Martin Mulandi, Research Officer. Jeremy Chabari, Legal Counsel.
Victor Kimani, Hansen and Algeo.
Katana Kaidi, Research Officer.
Good morning, Session Chair, Honorable Members, Your Excellency the Governor. My name is Mark Kashanja, Office of the Auditor General, Legislative Relations Office, and with me is the Director for Kisumu Region Office, who is here. Let him put himself on record.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. My name is Davis Kariuki, Director of Audit. Thank you.
Yes. Morning. I'm Dr. Jackson Dunga from the National Treasury. Thank you. It's Governor. Yeah, to you.
Chairman and Honorable Senators and the Secretariat. My name is Wilbur Otichilo, Governor of Vihiga County. I'm honored to be here this morning, and I would like to allow my officers who have accompanied me to address themselves. And we'll start with the chair of the Vihiga Municipal Board.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is CPA Patrick Wayondi, the Chairman of Vihiga Municipal Board. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, my name is Paul Ayodi, the Municipal Manager for Vihiga Municipality. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Senators, everyone present, good morning. I am Grace Kadenge, the CCM in charge of physical planning, lands, housing, and urban development.
Honorable Chair, my name is Victor Kivaya Chair, Chief Officer, Department of Physical Planning, Lands, Housing, and Urban Development. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, I'm Wanaidi Abdi, Municipal Administrator.
Honorable Chair, my name is Dr. Qerries Boston Amai, the CCM in charge of finance and economic planning.
Honorable Chair and members, my name is CPA Keverenge Joseph, Chief Officer Planning, Budget, M&D.
Honorable Chair, my name is CPA James Atemba Halai, Chief Officer in charge of finance.
Chair, my name is Agri B.L. Omsiega, the Count Attorney.
Honorable Chair, my name is CPA Isabel Pili, Accountant.
Honorable Chair, my name is Josephine Nyambasi, Board Director Chair, Amazi Water Services.
Honorable Chair, my name is Dr. Mary Susan Anyenda, Chief Officer Health Services.
Honorable Chair, my name is Noel Malan.
Good, I think we are done, governors. Members, let's go to agenda number 3, administration of oath of witness and tabling of documents. The clerk, may you assist the witness?
I, Dr. Wilbur Otichilo, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the committee in respect to the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Okay, you can sit at your table.
Honorable Chair, I hereby table the following document before the committee. The Vihiga Municipal Board for financial year
2023-2024. And Amazi Water Services Company Limited for financial year 2023-2024. Vihiga County Referral Hospital for financial year 2023-2024.
Good. Auditors, maybe you need to tell us if you received the documents within time stipulated and if you are verified.
Thank you, Chair. I want to confirm that we received the documents as stipulated and we have verified them. Thank you.
Good. Are we ready to go? You are.
I'm ready to continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Clerk.
Chair, we confirm that the documents were submitted within the stipulated timelines and we've gone through them and we are ready to proceed.
Good, honorable members. Maybe before we start, we wanted to give the governor an opportunity to maybe some opening remarks.
Thank you, Honorable, for this opportunity to be here before this Honorable Committee. I want from the onset to thank the committee for the good work you are doing. I think by forming this committee in the Senate, it has made a lot of difference in particularly various funds that are run by counties. Before, some of these funds and entities were almost operating independently, and they were not really working well. But with the committee in place, we see a lot of progress, and I want to thank this committee particularly. This is the second time we are coming here. When we look at our entity like Amazi, when we came here the first time, that entity was actually moribund. But from what we got when we came here, I can assure you we have made a lot of progress, and we'll be able to see that. Equally, our referral hospital, we have made a lot of progress as a result of recommendations we have received here. As regards the municipal chair, I would really appreciate what we have been able to get from this committee. But Chair, there are some issues I would like the committee to consider, not as part of this proceeding, but later on. We need to look at the act that looks at the Towns and Cities Act, because that act clearly states that we have to devolve the functions. And municipal councils, and eventually the counties will have nothing. So I think, Chair, in your own wisdom, I would like you to look at that and see how best can we have that. Can they become semi-autonomous so that there is a sort of a formula on how to share those revenues? So, Chair, that's what I would want to say for now, but we are ready, and I want to say that we have made a lot of progress. Because if I give an example, in the last audit on referral hospital, we had gotten a disclaimer, but today we have at least a good opinion. Equally the same to municipal and the Amazi Water Services. So we have made a lot of progress, and we attribute this to the vigilance this committee has put in place. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Governor. You are the chair for what in the Council of Governors?
I'm the chair in charge of environment, forestry, and climate.
Not water.
Water is...
it's part of you.
Yeah, it's part of me.
Okay, all right. Actually, you know, your last statement, the one you are talking about the municipalities, we had some engagements for the last 2 weeks, and one of the interim recommendations that you'll be getting, we discussed and said, you know, as Council of Governors, maybe you need to look at that law, the Urban and Cities Act, and come up with some proposals on how you want the revenue to be shared, because it was one of the counties said, basically, if the municipals collect, they'll have nothing. Even like Eldoret, the city of Eldoret, if they collect, it means there'll be no A in A. On-source revenue, you will not have on-source revenue, and the municipalities can budget entirely what they'll collect. Because when you collect, there'll be your chairman there will budget everything and leave nothing to you. So that's something that we had noted. So I believe, members, we can now start.
Can I?
Okay, Senator
make
Vihiga.
an observation?
Yes, Senator Vihiga.
I know we will be discussing the issue of independence of municipalities, but today I think I've seen some progress from my county. You know, all the counties that have appeared before us, the governor has been coming with either chief officer or CEC for trade. But now I can see seated next to the municipal board chair, municipal manager, and I've seen a lady there, municipal administrator, which means, Governor, you are giving them some leeway, unlike other counties. I think that's a very good sign, and I hope that when we are discussing independence, we will see some positive steps there. I just wanted to say that because, you know, even the city of Eldoret, he came with alone with his own CEC, but there was no city manager, there was no city administrator. So I think there is some little progress that we must note.
What do you expect, Chair? I mean, if the chair of this committee is from that county, you expect that that you are doing a proper oversight. Until now, the governor knows what is expected to bring to the committee. Good, Auditor. We begin with which one?
We are starting with the city board.
City, eh?
Yeah, with the municipal board, sorry.
Good. Let's go to our report on municipality. Do we have the responses from the county? Good. Auditor, you remember what we agreed. So please, can you... There's some queries that we said we'll combine. You read all of them, and then the governor will read the responses, and then we will give members opportunity to ask questions.
That is okay, Chair. I will start with paragraph 1, which is on inaccuracies in the financial statements. Review of financial statements submitted for audit reviewed the following anomalies. The county government did not insert the logo on the cover page. The other issue was that the comparative figure for retention monies for previous year is negative, that is 461,860, while the opening balance was Kenya shillings 461,860. The adjustment therefore could not be confirmed. So in the circumstances, the accuracy of the financial statements could not be confirmed. Paragraph 2, failure to charge depreciation on property, plant and equipment. The statement of financial position, and as disclosed in note 9 to the financial statements, reflects a balance of Kenya shillings 574,044,658 in respect to property, plant, and equipment. Equipment recorded at the original purchase price of the assets. However, no depreciation has been charged on the assets over the years, as required by IPSAS 17, which states that the depreciation charge for each period shall be recognized in surplus or deficit unless it is included in the carrying amount of another asset. Further, a review of the asset register and physical verification revealed that 5 laptops HP model were obsolete but still recorded in the asset register at cost. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of property, plant and equipment balance of Kenya shillings 574,044,658 could not be confirmed. Then paragraph 3, which is related to paragraph 1, the statement of financial unsupported retention monies.
The statement of financial position and as disclosed in note 10 to the financial statements reflects retention monies of Kenya shillings 461,860. However, a review of records and documents reveal that an amount of Kenya shillings 461,860 relating to retention monies was paid during the year under review, hence should not reflect as a balance in the statement of financial position. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of retention money balance of Kenya shillings could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair. What the management has promised me that these things will be revised in the succeeding year. This is the year that we are going to audit. Yes, this cycle is.
Good, Sir Governor, your response.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, the Auditor General, for that. Chair, as you have noticed, I've come with the board, the board members, and I would like to give the first response by asking the CEC in charge of the department on the issue of the logo, because the CEC is directly involved to know why the logo was not provided in the document. So I have the CEC here to respond to that.
CEC.
Thank you, Chair. Management response. Honorable Chair, the management acknowledges the auditor's observations and response as follows. The anomaly arising from the county government logo was occasioned by a preset error, leading to inaccurate formatting of the cover page to the expected guidelines. The management commits to rectify the irregularity by ensuring that both logos of the county government and the Coat of Arms of Kenya are reflected on the cover of subsequent financial statements. As a matter of fact, the management has already restructured the financial year 2024-2025 quarterly reports with the required logos placed appropriately.
Chair, for the second question, I would like to request the chair of the board to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I respond as follows. The comparative figure on account of the retention money is due to a posting error in the prior year. This audit issue was brought to the attention of the management, and on a further analysis of the Vihiga Municipality KUSP UDG fund bank statements, indeed, management confirms that there was no payment of the retention money during the prior year. Therefore, to correct this erroneous posting in the prior year financial records, the management will make a prior period adjustment. In order to remedy the situation, the management has since strengthened the human resource function, and we have already engaged a certified public accountant during the financial year 2024-2025. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chair, I'll request the chair of the board to continue and give a response on the issue of the failure to charge depreciation on property, plant, and equipment.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The management admits the auditor's observation on depreciation and wish to respond as follows. The management will in the subsequent financial years adopt the National Treasury Guidelines on Asset and Liability Management 2020, the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, as read together with IPSAS 17, now IPSAS 45. The management further wishes to submit that with regard to the audit observation on the 5 HP model laptops and the envisaged danger it poses due to the risks and implications of outdated technology, the management will forthwith write off the identified lot of assets in the subsequent financial year, leading to an impairment loss so as to conform to the applicable standards. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Good. The next one.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next one is lack of motor vehicle ownership documents. And this paragraph 4, the statement of financial position and as disclosed in note 9 to the financial statement.
I thought they have not responded to and supported retention monies.
Sorry, Chair. For that, I would like to request
paragraph 1 and 2 are related.
Related?
They are related, yes. It's accounting issues. If they address paragraph 1,
Yes.
it will also address paragraph
Oh,
3.
so we
Yes.
can
We can proceed, yes.
Good. So that is, we give members then opportunity to ask supplementary, or you want to continue with the?
Okay, they can submit.
Yes, yeah. Good.
Okay, Chair. So again, allow me to allow the chair of the board to respond to that.
No, it's okay. We said that one is read as with the paragraph 1, so you don't have to.
Honorable Chair, we have acknowledged the same in our response.
Yes, yeah. So you don't have to repeat yourself. Yes. Good, members. Auditor, maybe from what they have responded, any issue that you have, can you make comment before we give members?
Yes, what I will do, I will review those prior year adjustments in the year under review. That is this year, 2024, 2025. Yes. Yes, because these are basically accounting matters. I'll check whether they have made those adjustments.
What could be the cause? Is this as a result of capacity, or what is it?
That is what I was.
Because they have acknowledged that they have hired a qualified accountant in this financial year.
I think there is an issue of capacity because those are accounting errors that should be done by an accountant competent enough to understand the accounting.
Good. Let me give members, Betty and then Paris.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, following on what the auditor has asked, I would request to know who prepared the statements and who signed them.
Yes. They can have 2 or 3 questions and then they can respond.
Okay, Chair. Chair, a lot of the queries that have been raised by the auditors are financial in nature, which reflects, as the auditor has already mentioned, capacity issues. And when the team was introducing themselves, I thought I had a lot of CPA so-and-so, CPA so-and-so. And I'm like, these are qualified people. Why would you be having, bookkeeping issues, book errors? Is it out of negligence? Is it out of capacity? What's happening? Because from the introductions, I thought it's a fairly strong team. But when it comes to the audit observations, it casts doubts on the capacities of these people. So what's happening, Governor?
Thank you for that very important question. I would like to ask the CEM in charge, who was responsible for the preparations of the statements, to be able to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. From the sentiments our Senator alluded, there's a lot of progress and we've done a lot of improvements. We are discussing financial statements for the previous year, but currently we have changed the fund administrator to now a CPAK holder. But initially we had seen capacity issues, so we have henceforth changed the fund administrator.
Chair, my question is
questions
not...
she asked, who prepared and who signed? Yeah. Auditor, please, can you tell us, Auditor?
Thank you, Chair. The person who signed here, Head of Finance, was Omukuya Richard, but he's not an ISPAC member.
So, is he here?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. He's not here. We have henceforth replaced him.
So you see where the issues are. They arose as a result of hiring somebody who is not qualified, not an ISPAC member, who we cannot take any action, or ISPAC cannot take action against that's a worker. I hope you've taken him elsewhere or fired.
Chair,
The current one, where's the current, who is, maybe the current one, we also need to find out if they're standing with ISPAC, with the CBN number. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. The current accountant is
ISPAC number. Because in that case, my thinking would be that you would demand for an ISPAC member to have signed the statements.
Through the chair,
Yes,
as he
Beth.
prepares to answer, because I have a similar or another clarification to seek from the auditor. Could there be a potential risk of loss of funds?
Auditor, please.
Yes, maybe I can start with the two senators' question. Whenever we have incomplete records, the chances of errors of omission and commission is normally very high, because it means we have a lot of suspense balances. That's why we insist that persons who are preparing financial statements are qualified for the job. And we have so many people in this country who are qualified to do this work. I hope I've answered that question. There is potential of commission of errors of omission and commission. The other thing is on preparation of financial statements. You know, Chair, we are aware that previously it was not actually a requirement. And when some of us did CPAs, we were very few. Yeah, 20, 30 years ago, there were very few accountants. So some people were hired and they could work in the financial departments. In fact, when I started in the private sector, we could find a finance director who is a part 2. Today we have qualified people, so, but unfortunately, because some of those people are still working there, and they are still there, they are old employees, it may be difficult to do away with them. But that is not to give an excuse to the governor to have some people who are not doing their work well. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Even in the financial statements, there's paragraph 10 on statement of management responsibility, which quotes section 180 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which requires that at the end of each financial year, the accounting officer of municipality established under the Urban Areas and Cities Act shall prepare financial statements in accordance with the standards, formats prescribed by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board. That statement has been signed by Patrick Oyondi, who's the chairperson of the board, and the accounting officer, who's Patrick Oyondi. So, Chair, the responsibility to ensure that the financial statements are prepared in the correct standard and format rests with the accounting officer. So that person bears the responsibility to ensure that whoever is signing also complies with the format provided by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, which now requires in the format that every financial statement is signed by a person and the ISPAC number indicated. Thank you, Chair.
It's very clear.
Maybe, Chair, we can ask our legal officer to read out the relevant provisions in law on this matter.
Good. Please, can you read for us? As he prepares to read, Sheila also is, her status is not in good standing. So, Governor, are you helping them to do the relevant trainings so that they're in good standing?
Chair, I'll be very keen to know why she's not in a good standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe with the permission of the Governor, Chair, the employee may not be in good standing because the year has just begun. And for us, we earn our CBT points mostly when we attend the ISPAC conferences and seminars.
Chair,
and
just
for
an
us as a county, we normally sponsor our staff to attend the annual conferences. That is mainly in May and November. So I know as the year goes by, she should be able to earn the required points and go to be in good standing position.
Through the chair.
Yes,
is she here?
Is she here?
No, she's not here, Chair.
She's not. But there was a conference last week by ISPAC.
For us, we have planned to take them in May in Mombasa.
May?
Yes.
Okay. So long as by the time they are signing 2024-25, it should be in good standing.
That is correct, Chair.
Yeah, okay. Good. Legal Counsel.
Through you, Chair, the relevant provision of the law is there is Regulation 13 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations on the signing of blank or blind accountability documents, and it reads that in all circumstances shall a county public officer sign a blank or incomplete check, record, or other document pertaining to a financial transaction. As two, it is the duty of any county public officer signing any document or record pertaining to a financial transaction to read and satisfy himself or herself that it is proper to give his or her signature, and his or her signature shall be evidence of acceptance of responsibility for the document, whether the officer read it or not. And then the signing of a document contrary to paragraphs 1 and 2 above shall constitute an offense under the PFM. And through you, Chair, under the PFM, that offense of failure to keep proper records and signing incomplete documents, the penalty is under Section 199 of PFM. That means that except as otherwise provided by this Act, a person who is found guilty of committing an offense under this Act, for which no other punishment is given, that person is liable on conviction to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 5 years, or to a fine not exceeding 10 million shillings, or to both. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, I hope that's very clear, and the chairman of the board and the accountants, because you know this committee can recommend that you can be put in for those 5 years, or a fine of 5 million, or both. So it is important that when people are signing, they know what they are doing. Good. Let's go, Auditor, to now let's look at all the issues related to independence of the board. Then we read all of them, and then from there, the governor can respond.
Thank you, Chair. This is failure to meet audit committee meeting threshold and failure to conduct an annual performance review of the integrated development plan. I'll go over it. During the year under review, the audit and risk committee did not hold any
I thought you were starting with lack of motor vehicle ownership documents.
Sorry, this is a clarification issue, and there was lack of the financial position, and as disclosed in Note 9 to the financial statement, reflect a balance of 474,658 in respect of property, plant, and equipment. Included in this balance are motor vehicles valued at a cost of 32,391,000. However, these motor vehicles are registered at the county government of Vihiga and not the municipal board. This is contrary to Section 12, subsection 2B of Urban Areas and Cities Act 2011, which states that the board of an area granted the status of a city or municipality under this act shall be a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal, and shall, in its corporate name, be capable of taking, purchasing, or otherwise acquiring, holding, charging, or disposing of movable or immovable property. In the circumstances, the ownership of the motor vehicles balance of Kenya shillings at 2,391,000 could not be confirmed. The other issue is failure to meet audit committee meeting threshold. During the year under review, the audit and risk committee did not hold any meeting contrary to Gazette number 40 on frequency and timings of meetings that require the committee to meet at least quarterly. It is therefore not clear if the audit and risk committee effectively performed their role in the governance process by providing an independent expert assessment of the activities of top management, the quality of the risk management, financial reporting, financial management, and internal audit to the executive management. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law. The other was failure to conduct an annual performance review of the integrated development plan. Review of the integrated development plan reviewed that it was not reviewed during the year, contrary to Section 42 of the Urban Areas and Cities Act 2011, which requires the city or municipal board to review its integrated development plan annually to assess its performance in accordance with performance management tools set by it. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law. Thank you, Chair.
Good, sir, Governor. Your responses?
Chair, thank you, Chair. Chair, allow me to request the municipal manager to respond on the issue of lack of motor vehicle ownership documents, and also on the issue of failure to meet audit committee meetings threshold. Then the last one will be a failure to conduct annual performance review. I'll ask the human resource manager to do so.
Good, Municipal Manager.
Thank you, Chair. On lack of motor vehicle ownership documents, the management response. The management admits the auditor's observations and response as follows. There has been an inordinate delay in obtaining a personal identification number, PIN, in the name of Vihiga Municipal Board. It follows from this that the time of the purchase of the motor vehicles mentioned in the audit finding above, the Vihiga County Government Kenya Revenue Authority PIN was used during payment and processing of the logbooks. Following the successful registration and allocation of a KRA PIN for Vihiga Municipality, the management undertakes to initiate the transfer ownership of 3 10-ton Isuzu trucks, compacting truck, skip loader, and low loader, all valued at Kenya shillings 32,391,000 through the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, platform that will guide the procedure and the necessary legal requirement. There is a copy of Kenya Revenue Authority. On failure to meet audit committee meeting threshold, the management response. The management acknowledges the auditor's observation and response as follows. The term of the former Vihiga Municipal Board that constitutes the Audit and Risk Committee expired at the beginning of the year under review, and thereafter the process of constituting a new board began in earnest through to the month of May 2024. Consequently, the committee meetings did not meet the threshold. Since then, the Vihiga Municipal Board Subcommittee on Audit and Risk was constituted, and it is functional as expected. Thank you, sir.
The manager, human resource manager, to respond to the last one.
On failure to conduct the annual performance review of the Integrated Development Plan, I would first like to read what our response was. During the year under review, the management conducted an annual performance review of the Vihiga Municipality Integrated Development Plan, and the same is available for further verification. However, we want to admit that we did not perform the IDEP review on time. During the first board meeting, we managed to discuss the same, and we are working on it. I would like to give it to the manager so that he can expound on it further.
Good, Manager, please.
Thank you, Chair. Supportive minutes for the review. I think we've handed them to the auditor, and they're available with us. The review was done, but not in time, as the HR is putting it, and we have accepted that in the subsequent year, we will adhere to the required standards. Thank you.
Auditor, please.
We, as I said, we are going to review this during this year's audit to confirm that they are in compliance with what they are saying. Thank you.
Why is your mic not?
It's on.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the mic is on. What I'm saying is that we are going to review. Most of these things we are going to review now. In fact, we are going to send our staff in the next few weeks
Okay.
Yes, to commence the audit for this year.
Bet.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to take us back to paragraph 4, lack of motor vehicle ownership documentations or documents. And from the management report, they have talked of we shall do, this will happen. I'm just asking the time frame, when will it be done? The second question, Chair, is on late submission or things that are done after the audit. I'm seeking clarification from the auditor. What does the law say about late submission? Because you are saying they did this, we are going to review in this coming year. But we are talking of the year in question, the past. So what does the law say?
If you read also the responses, the Governor, following the successful registration and allocation of a KRA PIN for Vihiga municipality, the management undertakes, if transfer of motor vehicles or transfer of documents doesn't take time. I thought by the time you are coming here, you are saying the county government has transferred and the municipality has accepted. These are 3 or 4 motor vehicles.
Chair, as a government, we have actually gazetted the transfer of properties. So it's now the municipal board to do so. And from what I know, they had a challenge in getting the KRA PIN, but they already got the KRA PIN, I think it's last week or so. And now the process is on, and I assume before probably the end of this month, they should have all the registration in the board's name.
Good. Time, manager, how much time do you need?
We request for 1 month only.
1 month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's very long, but we give you the 1 month.
Thank you.
And then you submit copies of logbooks bearing the name of Vihiga Municipal Board.
Thank you.
Chair.
Senator Audt.
You see, these queries actually relate to the issue of independence of the municipality. And I'm looking at the minutes for the meeting held on 28th August 2024, where the board agreed that some key items were to be included in the work plan, that is transfer of functions and resources, transfer of assets that belong to municipal function, among other issues. So maybe the board can tell us what is the status of the transfer of functions and resources and transfer of assets. And is there any evidence to that effect? Maybe a gazette notice or something to support that.
Chairman of the board, through the governor.
Chair, I thought we could take all the questions and then they respond. Thank you, Chair. I think here we are talking about the independence or the autonomy of the municipality. So, how independent is Vihiga municipality? That's my first question. B of it, does it have its own staff? Do they pay their own salaries or they are still paid by the parent department? And finally, do they have their own charter? Just in relation to what the Senator for Vihiga was asking.
And
Good.
Chair, the last one on that particular one, are they collecting revenue or is the county collecting on their behalf?
Good. There was no audit query on budgets. You can also lump all of them. Due today budget, and does the budget get approved? Does it go to the county assembly or whatever?
Chair, allow me to ask the chair of the board and the manager to respond to those very important questions that have been raised by honorable senators.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yes, we have a municipal charter. We have an establishment of staff. seconded to the municipality. We have staff in all the critical departments necessary for the functioning of the municipality. Yes, we are collecting revenue, but it still goes to the main kitty of the government, the county government. Maybe let me invite municipal manager. If there's any question you picked and have not covered, please.
Thank you, Chair. The Gazette notice for transfer of functions was done last year in 2024, and it is progressive. We have taken some of the duties at the municipal, like solid waste management, we are doing it. Liquid waste management, we are doing it. Coming up with the policies and legal frameworks for the municipalities, we are doing it at the municipality. But as my chair is saying, it is not yet fully, we have to be very honest. We are collecting revenue, but still we are centralizing the revenue. We are yet to come up with a legal framework for how to utilize the revenue. Thank you.
Chair, do they have bank accounts for the municipality? They do?
Yes, we have a bank account for the municipalities.
So the revenue that you collect, you don't take it, bank it in that bank account. It goes to the county.
They have different functions. The purposes of the accounts are different. For example, we have the UIG account, the UDG account, and also the special purpose account. This one of revenue is still centralized, although we are seriously assisting in collection of revenue.
So maybe there is something that the chair of the board said is you have staff seconded from the county government. So the municipal board does not have employees of its own that you pay. Maybe you get resources from the county government that is sent to your account and you pay them. So all your employees are still, including yourself, still being paid from the executive of the county government.
We have, thank you, Chair. We have 3 categories of employees at the municipality. Those ones that are independent at the municipal, like the manager, the HODs, and we also have others who have been seconded, like public health officers, and we have those ones who have been deployed from the central government to the municipality. A total number of 50.
So who is paying you? You as a manager? And the HODs?
Chair, those are the questions I asked.
Yeah.
But is he the
chair of the board? The
chair of the board. He took a very good shortcut and was saying, yes, we have charter, yes, we have, yes. He never gave, because I asked whether they have their own staff and who pays the salaries. Is it the parent department or is it the municipality?
Governor, I'm sure you're in a good position to answer that.
Yes, I'm in a good position to answer that. Yes, it is true that we have seconded staff to the municipality, but the truth of the matter is that it is the county government that is paying those salaries.
Including the manager?
Yeah.
Including the manager?
Yes.
So then, Governor, what plans do you have to release this baby to be on its own?
This is an issue that when in my opening remarks, I stated that we have a challenge, and I requested the committee to look into it and probably come up with an amicable solution for all the counties, because we are facing the same problem, and we find it very difficult to come out of it. And I believe the board, your committee could probably give the right guidance.
Senator Audt, substantive chair, have some comment.
Governor, Chair, my stand on this issue of the law, the Urban Areas and Cities Act. I have always stated that it needs to be amended because it, in section 12, it gives total independence to the municipalities. They have managerial, financial, and operational independence. Chair, you know, if we go that direction, then we'll be seizing the powers from the county government to a municipal board. You have even seen in some other counties, a municipality board has gone rogue, even against the county government. So I think the auditor is raising queries because that is the law, and they say the law is an us. So I think it is the responsibility of this committee to amend that law so that to create a balance, you can give some powers to the municipality, but you cannot give the entire powers to the municipality because you know municipalities are it is very tricky. So you find that they are attempting to appear to be doing something when in the real sense they are not doing what the law provides because of that limitation. So I think we need to engage the Council of Governors on this matter so that we can see what we can amend in that Urban Areas and Cities Act. But before that amendment is done, Mark and his auditors will continue giving us audit queries. So which we must respond to. But I want to say that as the chair of this committee, I will try my level best to have this amendment done probably before 2027.
Because of your interest. Mark, say something, and then the chair, I wanted to say, Chair, maybe before even that 2027, maybe it is also good as a committee if we can call the Council of Governors, especially the chair in charge of these issues, so as a matter of urgency, so that we can start initiating the amendments, so it can benefit your current governor before you take over. Mark?
Thank you, Chair. I think I just want to confirm what the Chair is saying, that it will obviously be a query so long as the law stands. However, Chair, in the same law, there is a clause on agency, where it says the municipality shall be an agent of the county. Now, the interpretation of that may be that an agent, the principal is the county, and the municipal is an agent. So I don't know whether legal can guide us on whether the counties can now have county-specific legislation on revenue sharing. So then you will say, the municipal shall collect, and of those collections, this amount shall go back to the county, and this amount can remain with them for the operations. Maybe just as a way forward.
Maybe you can read for us. Just the way Qerries is an agent of the National Treasury, and they get a percentage like 5 or 10%.
Yeah, the section alluded to by Mark is Section 11 of the Urban Areas and Cities Act on the principles of governance and management. And it reads as follows: the governance and management of urban areas and cities shall be based on the following principles: the recognition and respect for the constitutional status of county governments. And the relevant one is under B, that is paragraph B, recognition of the principal and agency relationship between the boards of urban areas and cities and their respective county governments, including the carrying out by a board of such functions as may be delegated by the county government, financial accountability to the county government, the governance by each board for on behalf of the county government. And then through Chair, with your permission, when you go to the section 20 of the same act, that is on the governance and management functions of our board, among the provisions, that is under subsection 1, paragraph D, among the functions of our board include control land use, land subdivision, land development and zoning by public and private sectors. And all this has to be done as delegated by the county government. And also there is also the issue of delegation by the county government to promote and undertake infrastructural development, and also development and management of schemes, including site developments, in collaboration with the relevant national and county governments. Through you, Chair, there is that issue, and also there is the provision under the Public Finance Management Act, that is Section 173, on the criteria for allocating funds to urban areas or cities by county governments, whereby it reads that in allocating funds to urban areas or cities under Section 172, that is on the sources of revenue, for the bonds for the counties, that is cities or urban areas, there is the issue of now the objective criteria to be used. And among those objective criteria to be used, they include, among others, A, the proportional population calculated as the population of the urban area or city divided by the total population of the county, the relative area calculated as the area of urban area or city divided by the total county area, the relative poverty levels based on the objective measures of relative poverty, the relative per capita revenue collection estimated as urban area or city per capita revenue collection divided by the county per capita revenue collection, an objective measure to account for the price differentials in providing similar services in urban area or city relative to rural areas of the county. And then F, a minimum amount to ensure effective delivery of essential services and responsibilities assigned to the urban area or city, and also the incentives to encourage urban areas and cities to exercise prudent financial management, as well as transparency and accountability in public finance management. Thank you, Chair. And then under subsection 3, in approving the criteria under subsection 2, the County Assembly is supposed to seek recommendations from the Commission on Revenue Allocation. So the criteria on sharing of revenue is already there under the PFM, and maybe in deliberations, the county, with the COG, maybe the committee can also invite the Commission on Revenue Allocation on the formula that can be used to share revenue between the municipal bonds and cities and the counties through Chair.
You know, these are issues that we need to discuss, and it requires a lot of conversation so that, you know, the governors don't see it as if, we are clawing back on devolution, even though this is still a baby, you know. Yeah, so Chair, we are done with the...
Maybe before you are done, I just wanted to raise an inquiry from the governor. I know it's not an audit query here, on the status of the proposed municipalities, Luanda, Cheptul, and the others.
Thank you, Chair. Currently, Vihiga has only one municipality known as Vihiga. But the county government has initiated a process through the county assembly to create 2 more municipalities. That is Luanda municipality, which before devolution used to be a town council. And then also we have proposed Kaimosi Cheptul township. Because of the university, the population has increased actually very high, and is one of the towns we are proposing. We have gone through the whole process of that is required to declare a town, a municipality, and we are at the tail end of it. And if you allow, I have my attorney there who is following up that matter. He can clearly say where we are as of this week.
It's the county attorney. Give the attorney mic.
Sorry. So we have already received the applications according to the law from Luanda Town and from Kaimos Cheptul. The applications were submitted to the County Executive Committee, and the County Executive Committee has approved the applications. So the appointment of the ad hoc committees is in place. His Excellency will be signing the appointment of the ad hoc committee notice, and they will commence operation. The ad hoc committees are supposed to do an inquiry and then make recommendations to the counters, to the governor, so that it can be submitted to the county assembly. So the process is on, and by next week we shall have the ad hoc committees functional.
Chair.
Yes, Kavindo.
There was a query from Senator Beth Siango, which the auditor was to read the law about late submissions of documents.
Yes, indeed, Chair. It's contained under Section 62 of the Public Audit Act, which talks about late submission and non-submission of financial statements. It also spells out the penalties. The legal can read that for us.
Legal counsel?
Through Chair, that is under Section 62 of the Public Audit Act, 62 subsection 1, paragraph C and D. That is paragraph B and C rather. It reads that a person shall not, without justification, fail to provide information required under this Act. C, without justification, fail to provide information within reasonable time that is required under this Act. And the penalty is under subsection 2, that reads that a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, you've heard, and you know you are second-term governor. We were together in Parliament, and you are seasoned. You know, these are people who should not let you down. If they don't behave, you let the law take its course.
I agree, Chair.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Let's go to the next report, please. Hospital, County, Vihiga County Referral Hospital.
The next report is on...
That maybe give them like 2 minutes. If there are people outside, are there people outside who are coming in?
Outside.
Let them come in, and then we'll give them time also to introduce themselves. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine.
Good, let's settle. Let's give the mic those who have just walked in so that they can introduce themselves.
those who have not introduced themselves. Chair, allow me to request the CEM in charge of health and the team has come with to introduce themselves, starting with the CEM himself. Good.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Julius Maruja, the CC for Health with me.
Thank you, Chair. I had introduced myself, Dr. Mary Susan Anyenda, Chief Officer Health. Thank you.
Good. Anybody else?
Morning, Chair, honorable members, and John Owako, accountant.
Honorable members, Chair, my name is Dr. Vitalis Juma, acting medical superintendent, Vihiga County Referral Hospital.
Wycliffe Saidi, Chair, VCR.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Luca Goy, accountant.
I expect that when somebody says an accountant, you would have said CPA something. No, you are not the accountants are not qualified or registered.
CPA, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, it's good to, your full names. You say CPA and their full names. Yeah, it's okay.
Chair, I'm yet to get the number, so not yet CPA.
Yes, you're just like me. Good. Now, Auditor, let's proceed to the hospital.
Yeah, this is.
Remember, we had agreed. You know what we agreed, eh?
Yes,
Yes.
this is Vihiga County Referral Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2024, and the audit report is a qualified audit opinion. Chair, as discussed, paragraph 1 to 7 actually relates to accounting matters. The whole qualification is on accounting. Chair.
Good. So then we just go through them so that we also know who is this person who signed this. It's just similar to the municipality governor, so that you tell us if you still have the same person or something.
It's quite. Do I read each and everything?
Not really. I think we agreed that we pick. Maybe which one do you want to pick? The first one, or
I can talk of variances in the financial statements. These are variances between.
You can do that one. You do number 2 also, inaccuracies in the financial statements, and then the others you just speak to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I can summarize. Then I'll start with variances in the financial statements.
Yeah.
We noted variances between the financial statements and supporting ledgers. Then paragraph 2 is inaccuracies in the financial statements, where we noted that there are still variances between the financial statements and the explanatory notes that were accompanying the financial statements. Also, we noted that there was variances in employee costs, where the statement of financial performance reflected cost of 27,472,6647, as disclosed in note 13 to the financial statements. However, payroll records showed 29,046,866, resulting to an unreconciled variance of Kenya shillings 1,574,219. In other words, the financial statements disclosed less than what was in the payroll records. The other issue is inaccuracy in property, plant, and equipment. A similar issue where we noted the statement of financial possession, and as disclosed in note 121 to the financial statements, reflected a balance of Kenya shillings 11,679,243 in respect of property, plant, and equipment. The schedule at note 21 includes building and civil works, furniture and other office equipment, ICT equipment, and plant and medical equipment. However, the value of RAD on which the hospital building sits was not disclosed. In addition, logbooks for 2 ambulances in the possession by the county government were yet to be transferred to the hospital. Further included in the balance are additions to asset costing 10,897,159. However, review of records provided for audit revealed that management procured various assets during the year under review at a cost of 3,303,866, which were omitted from the financial statements. There was also failure to charge depreciation and lack of a depreciation policy. There was also cash and cash equivalents. There were no reconciliations. We noted that the bank reconciliations were not properly done, and there were some balances in the bank not recorded in cash book. There was also unsupported trade payables amounting to 54,548,311. Chair, I wish to confirm that that is now the last paragraph. The statement of financial position and as disclosed in Note 23 to the financial statements reflects trade and other payables balance of Kenya shillings 54,548,311. However, the balance was not supported with detailed schedule and aging analysis per category, showing the opening balance, additions, and payments in the year to arrive at the closing balance. Further, supporting documents, including invoices, vouchers, certificates, and creditor statements, were not provided for audit review. Chair, I wish to confirm that subsequent to that, some information was provided, but it gave us a different figure, which amounted to 54,876,910, leading to a variance of 328,599. Chair, as you can see, all those 7 paragraphs relates to accounting matters. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, you know, we don't want you to read all of them. I want you to see, from what the auditor said, basically you have incompetent staff. Can you please say something and give us an overview?
Yeah. Yes. Chair, I want to agree with the auditor and confirm that, yes, we have had serious problems of accounting in our referral hospital, particularly using the FIF fund. Before the hospital was responsible, they collected the money and they spent at the source. And that's why I said in my opening remarks, actually when the auditors came in, the first audit report we got was a disclaimer, because the way the books were kept were not in line with what is required. So as a result of what we had last time we were here, we took a responsibility to ensure that the funds collected are channeled through IFMIS so that any request from the referral hospital must follow the procedures according to the BFM Act. And I think, Chair, if you allow, I have the Chief Officer in charge of Finance who has been responsible for that process. He can report where we are now and why now our state of accounting has improved, but still, based on the historical, you can see we had a lot of problems. So allow me to ask the Chief Officer in charge of Finance to say where we are and some of the teething problems we still have.
Good, Chief Officer Finance.
Thank you, Chair. Through Your Excellency, Chair, I want to confirm that prior to this financial year, actually the executive had minimal role in the financial affairs of the VCRH. And arising from the audit queries and whatever was happening there, we have made a deliberate decision as the executive to ensure that the financial management of the VCRH are aligned to the provisions of the PFM and the existing procurement laws in the country. One, we are ensuring they should have a budget before the year starts, so that the operations are based on available budget. Then number 2, Chair, we created special purpose accounts at the CBK for all our sub-county hospitals and the VCRH. This was to comply with the PFM regulation requirements, Regulation 19, where all county entities are supposed to operate accounts at the CBK. And with that, Chair, they are still retaining the money they are collecting. But this money is once it's collected, is first swiped to the special purpose account at the CBK. And once it's swiped, any requisitions being made, Chair, all process of payment processes are being made through the IFMIS. This is to ensure we also comply with the PFM requirements, because IFMIS is the designated ICT infrastructure for the county governments. So in so doing, Chair, we're also subjecting them to also our checks and balances within the county to ensure that all payments being processed are actually in accordance with the law. We have also instituted and subjected not only referral hospitals, Chair, but also sub-county hospitals to the procurement laws, because previously, Chair, we also noted there were gaps in the procurement operations within the VCRH and the sub-county hospitals, because even payments were not being paid in accordance with available legal provisions. So currently, even our procurement directorate, and we have also seconded their procurement officers who are also actively involved in all procurement activities being undertaken there, just to be sure that everything being done there is done in accordance with the law. So to summarize, Chair, basically we've made a lot of progress in putting up a financial management system within not only our VCRH, but generally VCRH and our county, sub-county hospitals. And as we move forward, we believe these financial statements are going to improve. And in addition, we also seconded their competent staff who are actually CPS that are for referral hospitals. We have two actually CPS, that is CPA Fanuel Makungu, Fanuel Mulindi, and CPA Beatrice Makungu, who are in charge of VCRH. And in so doing, we are hoping that now we've given them the right capacity to support the hospital in terms of financial management. Thank you, Chair.
Auditor, and also tell us what is the actual status of implementation of the new law, the FIF?
Well, what we have observed is that the amount is normally collected, and it's limited to the national, to the county level fund, and then from there it's given to the hospitals.
Maybe, Chair, with your permission, just a correction. The amount is not remitted to the county revenue fund. What is remitted to the county revenue fund are collections from the other revenue streams other than the hospital streams. But the hospital streams, once it's collected, it is now taken to the FIF special purpose account at the CBK. And we have an FIF committee chaired by the CCM in charge of health. After collections, in accordance with the FIF Act, on a quarterly basis, these amounts is redistributed back. The 70% of the amounts is distributed back to the hospital facilities based on the collections. But for the SHA one, once it is remitted from SHA, it is swiped to the respective hospital special purpose account. So that one does not require any distribution. What is swiped to the FIF is now the local collections, what is now paid when patients visit the hospitals. So we do not take it to CRF.
Mark, I think there's something.
Chair.
Mark, you wanted to say something?
Chair, I think it's important for clarity that the FIF Act is read so that he is able to appreciate what it provides when it comes to revenue collected at the facility.
Yes, Chair, that is exactly what I wanted to say, that they read the PFF Fund Act.
The FIF
yes,
Act.
so that they are clear of what it says.
Legal counsel, can you read for them so that you know there is no contradiction for clarity?
Through you, Chair, the relevant section is Section 5 of Retention of Public Health Facilities Improvement Financing. And this is what it provides. Under subsection 1, there shall be a retention of all monies raised or received by on behalf of all public health facilities. Subsection 2, there shall be opened a facility improvement financing account for each public health facility, into which shall be paid all monies received by or on behalf by the respective public health facility. Subsection 3, non-financial receivables and donations may be retained in whole or be redonated to another public facility upon full disclosure as provided for in the relevant laws. 4, the income and other receivables retained by the public health facilities shall be considered as a supplement to the budget and resources appropriated to the public health facilities by the respective county government and not as substitute. Thank you, Chair.
Good, so Governor. Maybe you give your...
Thank you, Chair. I think allow me again to revert back to the Chief Officer so that he puts a clear clarification exactly what is done. And if it's done contrary to that, then we note it.
Chair, listening to what has been read, Chair, and in my earlier submissions, what we submitted was whatever we collect from the sub-county hospitals and the VCRH is ultimately returned to them. That is 70% of it is returned to the VCRH and the sub-county hospitals. But the monies from SHA and the former NHIF, the 100% is retained by the hospitals. So I know as a county, the law there requires us to retain 100% of what is collected by the hospitals. But for us, we reimburse 70% because I know the Department of Health also have their own responsibilities with respect to those facilities. So the department uses the 70% to still carry out activities still relating to those health facilities. So, but that is how we are operating, Chair. So we do not transfer any money collected from health to the CRF. Ultimately, the amount remains in the health sector.
If you add what the legal counsel read, that for each of the facilities is supposed to have its own account. Is that right? And then retain 100%. So which law? Do you have your own Vihiga law that specifies that 70% is remitted back to the facilities and then you retain 30% for operations by the department? Do you have a law?
Yes, Chair. Actually, we have in place Vihiga Facilities Improvement Fund account of 2019. And that is what stipulates now the 70% and the 30%. And the Chair, I also want to confirm we have an account for each facility, health facility at the CBK that now manages the spending of this money. We have the collection account for each facility and now the spending for this facility.
And you know, when there is a national law and a county law, which one supersedes the other one?
Yes, Chair, I know the national supersedes the...
So yours was 2019, and then the F5 Act was 2023. So basically, it means you need to start amendments to your law to conform with the national law. Otherwise, you'll have audit queries
Chair.
Throughout your time. Yes, Senator Kavinda.
Chair, I think the county attorney is failing the county because he should be there to advise them on these laws and how they should go about it. Again, Chair, I had, I don't know what he is, the chief of staff saying that the role of the hospital, it's like they are in full control and the executive is not involved. And I want to tell you that the governor of Vihiga County is the CEO of Vihiga County and is in full control of whatever happens in Vihiga. And that is why when he appears before us, we ask him questions, not any other person, because he's in full control. So there is no way you can say that he's not in control. Thank you.
Chair, allow me to request the attorney who is with us here to ventilate on this matter because he squarely gets into his docket.
Yes, and you should allow them to answer the questions, Governor. Don't let anyone let you be asked questions which you are not responsible for. Each one of them should be responsible for their deeds.
Been there?
I've been there from the year 2020, Chair.
So the act, the local Vihiga Act is 2019. The national law is 2023. Now this is 2025. What have you been doing for the last 2 years?
Chair, I think we acknowledge that SHA has had challenges. We even had an interaction with the national team.
We had a session in Eldoret, and we agreed, from that meeting, we agreed that the counties that were affected, we had about 5 counties meeting there. We agreed that the local laws, the county laws, must be amended in order to align with the national law. Chair, we have already done it. We have passed the law. In fact, the law was passed in the county assembly last week. It's just awaiting the assent of His Excellency the Governor. So, Honorable Senator for Machakos, we have already acted. We have the law that is now aligning to the national law, and pursuant even to the relevant law, we are allowed to legislate.
Absolutely, Chair. We'll be here, God willing.
Chair, before we go to the next financial year, can we know the accountant who signed this?
Okay, we need the accountant and the ISPAC number.
Yes, and his position with the ISPAC.
Okay.
The accountant who signed is CPA Mukungu Beatrice Lamo, ISPAC number 11290.
Get the clerk 11290. Can you check for us the status? Senator Bukwa, it's like you have something. Okay, Senator Vihiga, before we move to the next.
Mine is to the auditors. Auditor, I want to refer you to the query on variancy in employee cost and the query on supported trade payables. Okay. Maybe you can help this committee to understand whether this query is an error of omission or commission. Because, for example, the variance in employee cost, there is a difference between what was actually paid and the payroll, a difference of 1.5 million.
I think this, as I'm saying, is the financial statements may have not been balancing. So somebody thought that they could adjust this indirectly instead of looking for corresponding entries. So it's purely accounting issue.
Okay.
Yes.
So no money was lost?
I don't think no money was lost because there is a record of whom on the payroll. Okay. We could see the list of the people who are got the salaries.
What about unsupported trade payables of 54.5 million?
Unsupported trade payables, what happened is we requested for an aged analysis. We also asked for invoices and the certificates and the statements of creditors, which they did not have a statement for all of them. But we have the list of the creditors, and actually when we insisted that we wanted to see the aged analysis, we were given more creditors than were recorded here by about 336,000. But we were promised that they are still investigating, and this will be resolved in the year under review, that is 2024, 2025. It's also an accounting issue because it means whoever keeps records does not keep proper records, and that is accounting issue.
So I think, Chair, I want to agree. We need to know who that accountant is.
Yes, that's why I asked for the accountant.
Good. Governor, who is the accountant?
Her name is
what it's already given.
Yeah.
And okay, she's not in good standing, but I think your chief officer of CC said they're sponsoring them in May and November so that they are up to date. But where is he? Or is she? She's not here.
No, she's not with us.
I think maybe next time, Governor, you know, those who sign the records, it's also good for them to be here so that we can put them to task. Correct. Because, you know, like now, you are carrying some hit that's not yours, or it's not for the chief officer or CC, so that at least they know what you go through when you come to Senate. So, you know, these small errors, you know.
Chair, can the legal read the law so that the governor can hear, and also the attorney is here, and that is why I said the attorney should be advising the governor correctly.
Wait, right. we read.
I think it was read.
It was read. We had read. Yeah, while you were away, we read. So we don't have to
It was
repeat.
read out, yeah.
And the county attorney is here, the CECs and the chief officers are here. So, these are things that we should not be discussing at this level, Governor. Yeah. So please. So members, let's go to the same report. Auditor, the deficiencies in implementation of UHC.
Okay, we talked, there is the issue of budget, that they didn't have enough money. Let me go directly to.
You can get another mic. That's why I said it's like your mic. Mark, maybe you can swap your mic. Or this other one. The one.
It's okay. I think yeah. Let me
make it closer.
Let me get it closer to myself.
Yes, yeah. So the problem was, the mic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deficiencies in implementation of universal health coverage, UHC. Share, although this is a referral hospital, records show that it's a level 4 hospital, but I'll go over it. Review of hospital records and interviews on verification of services offered, equipment used, and medical specialists in the hospital at the time of audit reviewed that the hospital did not meet the requirements of Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guidelines due to staff deficits of 7% of the authorized establishment. As a level 4 hospital, there is a requirement that there should be medical officers, this, and maybe.
Just maybe just say as the table.
Yes, showing the table. Yes. There was shortage of staff. The total number of staff is 1 by 1. The hospital had 24. There was a variance of 7. In addition, the hospital lacked 4 functional intensive care unit beds and 6 high dependency unit beds as prescribed in the health policy guidelines as detailed before. Functional intensive care unit beds, there were 6. Actually, they are supposed to be 6, but actually in hospital are 2, so the variance is 4. High dependency unit beds, the requirement is 6, but there were 0. Further, it was noted that although the hospital had 5 renal units with dialysis machines, 2 are not functional. These deficiencies contravene the first schedule of the Health Act 2017 and imply that accessing the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to health care services, including reproductive health care, as required by Article 43(1) of the Constitution of Kenya, may not be achieved. In this circumstance, the hospital may not be able to deliver its mandate. Then there was lack of approved staff establishment, where a review of the hospital staff establishment and the interviews with the hospital administrator indicated that 806 members of staff are required to effectively carry out its duties and obligations. However, review of the documents presented revealed that the facility had 223 officers, resulting to a staffing of 583 staff members. In addition, there was no evidence to confirm that the hospital board approved the staff establishment. In the circumstances, it was not possible to confirm the effectiveness of services provided due to understaffing. In addition, the effectiveness of internal controls on human resource management could not be confirmed due to lack of approved staff establishment. And finally, there was issue of underpayment of cashiers, where it was noted that the cleaners review of the payroll records provided for audit, including appointment letters, reviewed that the cashiers in the category of cleaners and cooks were underpaid. The cleaners were paid between Kenya shillings 6,300 and Kenya shillings 10,000, contrary to legal notice number 125 on regulation of wages, order number 2022, which stipulated that general laborers, including cleaners, sweepers, gardeners, children, house servants, and day watchmen, and all messengers in all former municipalities to be paid a monthly minimum wage of Kenya shillings 14,025 shillings. Thank you, Chair.
Good, Governor. Your responses for the 3.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, allow me to request the CEM in charge of health services to lead in the answering of these questions, because we have the chief officer in charge of health services. We have medical superintendent of the hospital is here, so he can coordinate how they want to answer the questions.
Thank you, Chair and members. I'll deal with the issue of the first table, the variances or the difference in terms of the officers or staff. So as the Vihiga County Referral Hospital, it was initially a level
You can
4.
go to the response first.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The staff, let me just read this. For instance, the management acknowledges the auditor's observations and states that the hospital management is in collaboration with the Department of Health to address staffing gaps as recommended by relevant human resource guidelines and policies. For instance, department has released 7 medical officers for specialist trainings, 2 pediatrics, 1 neurosurgeon, 2 obstetricians and gynecologist, 1 physician, and 1 oncologist, in order to bridge the gap of specialists. Regrettably, our gaps have been occasioned by migration. Those who we train, then they leave the hospital. And then in a bid to address the issue of space, the completion of Hospital Plaza now currently at 95% will ensure that we have enough space in the hospital, so that at least we have enough ICU and HDU. Then we also are experiencing power outage or power surge. So due to frequent power surge, the hospital experiences frequent breakdown of medical equipment, including renal dialysis machine, CT scan, and general X-ray. As a result, the department has already budgeted now for the 2025-2026 to purchase a stabilizer to now address the issue of the power surge. In addition, the county government is in collaboration with the national government through the National Equipment Support Program to ensure provision of required dialysis machines, theater, and of course ICU. Thank you, Chair. But I wanted to give, to donate time to our Chief Officer to address the issue of staff establishment, Chair.
Chief Officer.
Thank you, Chair. The management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wish to respond as follows. On status of staff establishment, the gap at the hospital is attributed to budgetary constraints. Development of a proposed staff establishment. A comprehensive staff establishment proposal was developed by the hospital board and forwarded to the County Public Service Board for review and consideration. The proposal was further considered by the County Assembly through the Vihiga Teaching and Referral Hospital, that is the VTRH bill, which is awaiting assent. So to mitigate the impact of the staffing gaps, the following measures have been taken. 1, we have deployment of interns and volunteers under supervision. We have engagement of locum staff on need basis, and we collaborate with partner institutions for support. And we have also annexed the VTRH bill and the MOUs we have with partner institutions.
And the payment of casuals?
Yeah, so
if you want to address that.
Let the medical superintendent deal with the issue of underpayment of casuals because he deals with them directly.
Thank you, Chair. The management acknowledges the auditor's observation regarding the remuneration of casual workers, particularly cleaners and cooks, at the Vihiga County Referral Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2024. The underpayment noted in the remuneration of casual workers was an oversight on the management. However, going forward, we are going to implement the required statutory minimum wage in the financial year 2025-2026. We reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that the rights of all workers, including casuals, are fully respected.
Chair, allow me just to have 1 minute. We have the board, a member of the board of the hospital who is with us. He may make some remarks. 1 minute.
Good, board member, please. Because if you realize these are all futuristic, 2025-26, it means in this financial year also, the audit query will still be there. please assist him, Sergeant Atam.
Our Chair, we acknowledge that we have some teething problems because of the bureaucracy of remittance of money to the hospital. Because of that circle, the governor has explained and the CEO. But the casuals, because of finance constraints, are not paid according to the law, labor law, because of financial constraints. So we were addressing that issue. After this bill is assented, we discussed as a board to wait for the bill so that we move in and see how this thing can be settled. Otherwise, in reality, the hospital is experiencing a lot of constraints. It's very bureaucratic because sometimes even to buy very, very, very cheap things, you need to move through that bureaucratic circle of ordering. The medicine can also attest to that. So we are not ideally very, very comfortable with that bureaucratic. We hope the 70 remittance can move to 100 remittance and this bureaucratic is cut so that we run our hospital. We are a bit constrained.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we said all 100% of the resources are supposed to be retained at the hospitals or at the facilities as per the law. FIF is very clear. So, you know, because the FIF Act was not there, the Vihiga had its own law. So I believe those issues should now be settled. And bureaucracy must be followed. You know, procurement laws must be followed. You cannot take cash and buy because it's not your own facility. Auditor, before I give numbers, what are you saying, Auditor, about this?
Chair, I think it confirms what we had already realized earlier about the whole process of the money going to one account and then transfer. I think the Chair has expressed his frustration in terms of moving forward. And I think also, Chair, is the query on UHC. If you see the hospital is not able to meet its requirement, I can see dialysis machines are not working, then why would you retain only 70% instead of retaining the 100% to make sure that all the dialysis machines expected at the UHC are working and the other equipment that we have indicated in the report of the Auditor General. Thank you, Chair.
So I believe, clerks, when we are doing interim recommendations, you note that, that, you know, there is no need to have facilities. And then also, Governor, there is no need also to release most of your experts to go back to school and you create shortage. Maybe you can stagger, you know. You stagger the specialists to go to school so that you don't create your own shortage by sponsoring all of them at the same time. Kavindu?
Chair.
Then Bukwa?
Chair, you know, we are defenders of devolution, but we also represent the people. So when I hear that there are people who are underpaid, and these people are supposed to feed their families, they are supposed to live their life. I mean, Chair, this does not add up, and their financial constraint does not allow them to break the law of workers. So we want immediate implementation of the workers' salary, and they should be paid according to the law, Chair, because we represent these people.
Bukwa?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, looking at the issues here, it makes me worry about the state of the hospitals. And through your guidance, I think when we get time, we need to go and visit and see where the way things are, because I think things are not looking good. But listening to the governor and the management, I'm not getting firm confirmation on what you are going to do to improve in terms of budgets and figures, because the deficiencies in staffing and the equipping of the hospital. You know, Governor, even if the devolution fails on everything, at least we must get it light on the health. So I would want to hear from you firmly that in maybe the next budget cycle, you have increased whatever money is going there. You are releasing all the money from FIF. Because, Governor, you must have the people of Vihiga in terms of health, even if you fail in everything else. Thank you. Chair, I want to agree with the sentiments raised by the honorable senators. Health is very crucial, and we must do everything possible to ensure that we have the right facilities and the right human resource. And I'm happy that through this forum here, we have now been advised accordingly that we should give to the hospital the 100%. You can see we have been retaining 30% to the management. So to me, this is something that we are going to implement in the next budget that we are already doing, 2025, 2026. That the 30% will come in, but also we are going to look at our budget the way it is and increase so that we can hire more staff. And as stopgap measure, we had a cabinet last week, and we have agreed that we will give authority to the referral hospital to hire more staff on locum. So that is already being done. The Public Service Board will be recruiting about 75 health workers from doctors to clinical officers.
Chair.
Yes, Kavindo, Senator Kavindo.
I'm really shocked that these workers earn only 6,300 instead of the recommended 14,025. Surely, those who live in town, how do they rent their houses? How do they feed their children? I mean,
Kavindo, that's why, myself and the Senator for Vihiga, about 10 of us, we are in the next formula, these small counties, we are saying, can we have an affirmative action where we say each county first gets 6 billion? Even Elgeyo County, we have the same problem. And I know Machakos and others, like even Kajiado here, the share of revenue is very reasonable, so they can easily. I know Bukwa is looking at me.
You must include Nyandarua there.
Nyandarua. So that at least, they're actually struggling, not because they are paying 6,000, not because they like it. It is because, what can you do? You live within your means, and the employees also accept, because you survive. So,
Chair, I 100% disagree with you. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they are retaining 30% instead of releasing it to the hospital.
So you agreed
this 30% can be able to pay these workers.
Mine was just general one. So, Senator Mikori, you can put yourself on record.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Committee. I've been traveling for the last 2 weeks in the US and in the UK, just on a learning tour. So I'm glad to be back here. Eddie Gishero Okech is my name, Senator from Migori County, member of this committee. And nice to see you, Governor.
That you're still the vice chair?
Yes, for both.
A vice chair is a member, a chair is also a member. But what I wanted to say is that the revenue sharing formula is a major contention, among senators. And I sit on another committee called Finance and Budget, and we're trying to look at it. I think that I will make sure that the issue of smaller counties is actually taken care of very seriously. It is not a light matter, it's something that we must actually look into. Yeah.
Good. Senator Vihiga.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, for...
Chair, before the Senator for Vihiga, just give me a minute to add my voice.
Okay.
Yeah. Chair, thank you for this opportunity. Chair, because I walked out after the municipality, and the issue of the hospitals, I want to say that the FIF was deliberately designed to be able to assist the hospitals to address a number of challenges. But the comment I wanted to make is that the current governor of Vihiga was our colleague at the National Assembly. And I have always taken pride in those counties that governed by former members of parliament. And I have always said the
they do better than those who have come from other sectors. So I just wanted to urge the governor not to let us down, because even when he was a member of parliament, he was a very good member of parliament. He was doing well in terms of legislation and oversight and all that. So you cannot afford to fail now. Thank you.
Good, Senator Osotsi.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Let me just make a few clarifications on UHC. If you look at the first table there, the hospital is doing so well in terms of numbers of experts. I think the standard is 101, and they have 94 as per this. So they only have a variance of 7. But then, Chair, there is still a lot of pressure that the hospital is understaffed with medical experts. So maybe I would like the hospital superintendent to respond to that. And number 2, and this allows me, Chair, to divert a bit from the query. Number 2, I want you to respond to allegations that this hospital is understaffed, especially with the experts, because they have been transferred to another hospital within the county. And maybe you give us a comparative numbers between this hospital and those other hospitals in the county. I think, you know, that allegation has come to me so many times, and I think this is the right forum to address that. Maybe you give us the figures, particularly Emuhaya Hospital. How many staff, experts have been transferred from this hospital to Emuhaya, and what are the figures for this hospital and Emuhaya? I think that allegation, Governor, you will agree with me, has been common. The issue number 2 is the issue of equipments. You have seen the response that the equipments are malfunctioning because of power surge and such. But hospital superintendent, I want you to respond, and maybe the chief officer of health, to allegations that this breakdown is artificial. This breakdown is artificial, is an internal job where some of your staff deliberately interferes with this machine for some reason. There was a time when the CT scan was not running for some months, only to discover that there was a problem with the batteries. So can you respond to that? Those 2 issues, hospital superintendent, through the governor.
Good, so Governor, please.
Go ahead, Dr.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Senator. So for the first query on the number of specialists, so we thank the county government of Vihiga, through His Excellency the Governor. We have had opportunity to have several medical officers go out for further training. Actually, I think very few have been hired. Most of us have been sponsored or released to go for further training and come back to serve the county. So at the moment, we have about 14 medical specialists. However, I'll mention a few that maybe one of them were affected by the transfer. We have 2 orthopedic surgeons. So the county deemed it fit that one of the orthopedic surgeon is taken to serve the community of surrounding Emuhaya Sub-County Hospital. So that officer has been deployed there. And this was based on the analysis of surgical procedures that the surgeons are able to undertake that. And 2, was based on the fact that there is need to ensure that Muhaya Sub-County Hospital becomes a level 4. Now, for the number of specialists is the number adequate for Vihiga County Referral Hospital? So the numbers are not adequate because our vision from the board is to have VCRH become a level 5 hospital. And we have developed various documents to support that. Some of them are annexed here. And the last one is why the chief officer mentioned the Vihiga Teaching and Referral Hospital bill that makes us become a level 5. And at level 5, as we may be informed, requires even super specialist doctors. So, Honorable Senator, and the discussion that I have had here, having a smaller county getting more resources will ensure actually we transform VCRH to a level 5 hospital with adequate personnel and adequate specialists. So the other officers that were transferred from or posted to Muhaya, we have a physician and obstetrician, so that those who are officers who recently came from school, and of course as per release order, those officers were released to the department when they went to school. So the Department of Health deployed them to Muhaya Sub-County Hospital. Thank you. The second
while still there on Muhaya.
Yes.
So you are clarifying to this committee that there was minimal transfer of experts from Vihiga Referral Hospital to Muhaya, and not what is being alleged that there was a mass transfer.
So thank you, sir, through the chair. So there was minimal transfer. We had also 2 medical officers who were transferred from VCR, but this was a swap. So 2 were transferred out of VCRH, and they were replaced by 2 transfers. So it was just interfacility transfer of 2. Then the other specialist who was transferred, who is in public health, was not entirely serving the VCRH, because before he was a deputy director, who was then transferred also to support Muhaya Sub-County Hospital. So the actual transfer that happened that may have affected our number at that time was only for 1 officer who was an orthopedic. So that's when we'll say actual effect. Thank you, Chair.
CT scan.
So for general equipment, yes, honorable members, we know that most of our radiology equipment, anesthesia equipment was serviced under the MES, under the former MES program. And that way it ensured a bit of continuity of service whenever servicing is required. But since that program ended, challenge on identifying suppliers to come and contract cost a bit of a prolonged period for identification. So that has been done to ensure that then we have contracted officers who can come in when we need to have our equipment serviced. For allegation that our officers break down, I may not confirm that, but I know we have, I will say, a committed working force. Officers who will come to you anytime when things are not right. They will put you on toes so that you deliver. You help them serve the community. And that can be evidenced to even recent media. Honorable Senator, you may be aware. The officers in the hospital actually put pressure on you to deliver. I'm very sure most of the executive are actually aware. And I hope they don't go around creating problems for us to give them solution. Thank you, Chair.
Maybe I not answered my question.
The Petri issue.
The CT scan.
Yes.
This matter, Superintendent, I personally dealt with this matter, so I know what I mean. What happened to the CT scan? That long period, I think it was about 6-7 months, when it was not functioning, only to discover that there was a problem with the battery.
Chair, I would like you to allow me to ask the chief officer to help in providing the answer for the honorable senator.
Chief officer, so that we don't suspect that maybe there is somebody with the same equipment outside the hospital, and you are curtailing the public one so that the other fellow gets some business.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to say that it is true the CT scan took long before we did the repairs, as our Honorable Senator has indicated. But as the MedSoup was trying to explain, these equipment were formerly under the MES program. So we took a little longer to identify the correct engineers to work on it. Now, when the engineers came, they now discovered that batteries were not functional and other parts, not just batteries alone, and other parts. So they worked on the CT scan and it began to work. But like the CCM explained, we have an issue with power surge in Vihiga. So the engineers, we've done a framework. Whenever the machines are out of place, we call them. But they have written a report, a comprehensive report to us. And they have told us, unless you sort out the issue of the stabilizer, we shall keep calling them for repairs. So in that framework, we have now at least a working place where we now invite them to do the repairs of the machines. But they have told us for us to solve that once and for all, we need to purchase a power stabilizer, which we are saying we are doing it in the financial year 2025 and 2026. And remember, these parts of the CT scan that are required are actually imported. So recently they imported from India. Unfortunately, it couldn't fit, and they are now importing again from Germany. Thank you.
Who is bearing the cost for the, I hope it's not the county government that is going to pay for the one that's not fitting?
No, that is purely on the side of the engineers, not us.
The contractor?
Yeah.
Okay. We have two questions. Members, we still have another report for, is it water? We are Mati. So let's finish the last two quickly. Auditor, can you please go through it quickly so that we can go to water?
Thank you, Chair. I'll go directly to the internal controls, risk management and governance, and this is on inventories, that is drugs management. The management did not provide reports on regular inspection of stores and annual stock take inventory. Further, the hospital did not include the pharmaceutical and pharmaceuticals in its proposed annual procurement plan to adequately meet the required needs for pharmaceutical and pharmaceutical needs. This was contrary to Section 67(1) of the Health Act 2017, which states that the procurement for the public health services of health products and technologies shall be undertaken in line with the Public Procurement and Disposal Act, as well as the intergovernmental arrangements for medicine and medical products agreed upon. In the circumstances, the effectiveness of internal controls on procurement and management of drug inventories could not be confirmed. Expired and quarantined pharmaceutical items. Physical inspection conducted in the pharmaceutical stores revealed that some items were already expired. However, although the items were quarantined pending disposal, it was not clear why the disposal had taken more than 10 months after expiry, contrary to Section 5(9) of Pharmacy and Poisons Board Guidelines for Good Distribution Practices for Pharmaceuticals, which states that there were, where inevitably stocks held expired are very close to their expiry, such goods must be withdrawn from sale and quarantined, pending disposal in accordance with the agreement between the supplier and the wholesaler. In the circumstances, the effectiveness of the internal controls on management of pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical items could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Good, Sir Governor, please.
Honorable Chair, allow me to request the medical superintendent to answer these two questions because they are relevant to him and he's the one managing the hospital.
Thank you, Chair. So the management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wish to state that regular and annual stock inventory are undertaken. The hospital annual procurement plan had captured the pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical items. 3, the management has introduced an electronic inventory management system that will enhance traceability and accountability of commodities. The management has reconstituted the Health Products and Technology Unit Committee that will be responsible for ensuring that all records relating to drug movements, expiries, and reorders are maintained and subjected to both internal and external reviews. On expiries, we acknowledge and state that the expired items in questions were identified during our routine inventory and promptly removed from circulation. These items were accordingly segregated, clearly labeled, and stored in the designated quarantine area to prevent any risk of unintentional distribution or use. The delay in the final disposal of the expired items, that's beyond the required 10-month period, was occasioned by delay in getting disposal approval from the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. While we acknowledge the delay in the disposal of the expired pharmaceuticals, we emphasize that the items remain under strict quarantine and are not available for use or resale, thereby mitigating public health risks. Thank you.
Good. Auditor?
Chair, we wish to confirm that indeed we have noted that there is some improvement in the way the drugs are managed because they have a new system. But when it comes to expired drugs, we wish to review the process, this audit, this financial year.
I mean,
Thank you, Chair and members. Yeah, there was a correspondence between the hospital and the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, the regional office in Kakamega. But we realized that they take so long to give a nod the same. It is done maybe within 2 or 3 months, not 8 months, 10 months. Thank you, Chair.
good. Honorable members, please, your queries. Senator Asotse.
Yeah, Chair, I think this issue of expiry of drugs, we have seen it in almost every county that has appeared before us. But the reasons are never given why we have this occurrence. I know one of the reasons could be procurement delays by KEMSA or something of that sort. But then, Chair, you know, the other day, I saw the governor of Mombasa coming up with a directive that is going to close all the pharmacies, all the chemists and pharmacies around the hospital. It came to my mind that there could be a relationship between the issue of management of inventory, management of drugs, and proliferation of these pharmacies around the hospital. And indeed, even in my own county, around the hospital, the town around the hospital, I've seen the growth in activities around pharmacy. So maybe the superintendent and maybe the right officer should explain to this committee what are the real reasons behind these challenges we have in the management of drugs. Why do they get expired? And what is the link with the growth of chemists around the hospital? Is it an internal thing? And what are you doing about it? For example, how is the management of doctor's prescription and monitored, so that we get to know what is it, why are our hospitals having this problem? Not just Vihiga, all the hospitals that have appeared before us. And you heard the governor of Bomet acknowledging that even in his own county, the number of chemists or pharmacies around the hospital have grown with the time. So what happens in this? What happens in these hospitals?
Chair, Elgeyo Marakwet County, Iten County Rivaro Hospital.
If you go across, just within opposite the hospital, we have over 12 chemists. And they're open beyond even midnight. That's why we are saying it could be that there is some collaboration between the doctors prescribing and the business people outside there, and then also donations. When you receive donations of drugs, when drugs are about to expire, they push them to the counties so that it's your business to dispose. You know, it can also be a case. So, Senator Kavindo?
Yeah, Chair, just to add on to that, you'll find many patients go to hospitals and instead of getting medication from the hospital, they are prescribed to go and buy outside. It is across the country. So this is something we should really be keen about. Thank you.
The Governor, your response?
Medical Superintendent, you respond, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we acknowledge our Senator's observation. My comment is as follows, is that we at the hospital endeavor to source our commodities from KEMSA, and if we are not able to get from meds. And we have a policy that all our commodities should have at least a 2-year expiry, so that we reduce on our expiries on the drugs we use. The other comment that makes drugs expire is that when you have a prolonged strike period, you understand there will be no prescribers. This will eventually result into expiries. Why proliferation of chemists around hospitals? And this is being worked up on the board, and even the leadership presented here. To avoid proliferation of chemists is actually to ensure hospitals have commodities. That way, patients are not leaving facilities, or a prescriber is not writing a drug to go and be bought. And that is evident in VCRH. Whenever we have commodities, we have influx of patients, and patients are able to benefit. When they are not there, the community knows that there are no drugs, so possibly even coming, they don't. And the few that come, Chair, is that they will be requested to buy commodities elsewhere. So we are putting in effort that will ensure that we have drugs available. Prescribers are also notified, since we use electronic system on the medications that are available, so that then they are strictly able to prescribe those that are available. We commonly advise prescribers not to use the brand names, so that they retain the actual name of the drug, so that then we avoid people going to chemists. The other comment we do is that drug reps, we have to sanction drug reps in our hospital, because drug reps are the drivers of outside prescriptions. So we try as much to limit drug reps who are marketing their products on how they access our clinicians for purpose of prescription. But yes, Senator, we note the observation, and we are going to put in efforts to ensure that we don't have a lot of expiries, because they consume public resources. Thank you.
Senator Sotsi, you've realized one of the problems is the drug reps who go to see the doctors. Good. I think, members, because of time, we're supposed to go for lunch shortly, and we resume. Mark,
maybe just a comment
before we go to the next report.
A comment of the hospital's chair. I just want to confirm from the governor whether this is the only hospital in the county, because under the FIF Act, all hospitals from level 1 to level 4 are supposed to apply the act. And under the Public Audit Act, they're supposed to prepare and submit financial statements for audit. Thank you, Chair.
It's a Governor. That comment, Emoya and the others.
Well, I didn't get his question clearly.
Max, you can repeat for him.
Yeah, Your Excellency, the Governor. The question is, we only have financial statements for Vihiga Referral Hospital. Are there other level 4 hospitals in the county that did not prepare financial statements, and we hope to see this in 24-25?
Thank you for that question and that observation, and allow me to request the Chief Officer, who is directly responsible, to respond.
Good, Chief Officer.
Thank you, Chair. We only have one level 4, that is the VCRH, but we have level 3, that is, we have sub-county hospitals. That is one in each sub-county, so there are 5. Thank you.
Senator Osotsi, last one.
Sorry, Chair, you know, because it's my county, I have to ask as many questions as possible. My last question, Governor, I know you are have plans to transform the hospital into a corporation. Maybe, and I'm raising this matter because maybe a corporation will deal with the problems we are seeing in terms of inventory and other things. And I am in fully support of that idea because I visited Kisumu, the so-called the Jaramogi Odinga Referral Hospital, and I've seen a remarkable progress in terms of revenue management because the hospital is not just led by a strong manager, but they are trying to privatize that hospital, and they have made a huge surge in their revenue. So I fully support the idea of creating a corporate entity for the hospital. But I would like to know the status of this plan and the challenges you are facing, and why the medical staff are not happy with this idea.
It's Governor. No, that's directly yours.
Thanks,
it's a policy.
My Senator, for that very important question. It's true, your observation is correct, and it just 2 days ago I had a meeting in my office with the CEO for Jaramogi Odinga Hospital, and I was surprised since they changed from being a normal government hospital to a corporate. He told me they have moved their revenue from collecting 30 million per month to almost 150 because they are able to manage it properly. So as a result of that, and because of our observation elsewhere, we also decided as a management that we also want to have the Vihiga Referral Hospital be a corporate entity. And we worked that closely with the county assembly and the board members. And we drafted a bill which has gone through the whole process of public participation. And this week, actually on Tuesday, the assembly passed that bill and is awaiting for my assent most likely tomorrow or Friday. And then from there, we'll start the process of now transforming the referral hospital to now a corporate entity. And we have already planned that, my Senator, because we as a government, we decided to build a hospital plaza, which will be able to have a lot of theaters and about 200 extra beds. Our current bed structure or bed capacity is about 160. So we are building another hospital plaza, which is almost 90% ready. We hope it will be ready by end of this financial year. So we will have a capacity of about 360 bed capacity with a number of equipment activity, I mean a number of facilities. What we are currently lacking and what I would really want some support, because as Vihiga again, we get very little money. Equipment, we will need over 200 million to equip the new hospital plaza. So that's an area of concern. We have signed an agreement with the government on the suppliers of equipment. But from mess experience, we are not very sure whether we are also going to enter in the same mess. So that's one area that is of our concern. But we are already on track, and the committee, the board is represented by a member here. They are determined to see that the hospital is run as a corporate entity.
What about the resistance from?
Yes, there is a lot of resistance, and probably I would want my CEC to say, because he's with them every day, and why there is that resistance. Yes, I agree there is a lot of resistance, particularly from the doctors.
Thank you, Your Excellency the Governor. Chair, thank you, Chair. So, in terms of the corporate, the way the Governor has explained, it is going to be a CEO, led by a CEO, just like the JUTRH, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hospital. Then, at that position, it may not necessarily be a doctor. I think that is where the resistance is. And so that is why then there is need for, but the Act, the VTRH bill, the Vihiga Teaching and Referral Bill, spells out the qualifications. And the qualifications are, you do not need necessarily be a doctor. The JUTRH is being led by a CEO who is not a doctor. And so we expected the resistance, but we wanted to take the route that the JUTRH has taken in terms of the surge, in terms of the collection, so that at least in terms of, and even attendance, you know, we do not really want to cast aspersion on whether the attendance, you know, when it is a different person, a manager, not necessarily a doctor. Thank you.
Chair, just allow me on that matter. Some of the doctors have colluded and actually have taken us to court. And probably I will allow attorney to say where we are on that matter.
Chair, let me first clarify that the bill has passed through the county assembly. So one of the challenges was that proceeding to advertise the for CEO before that law was passed. But then the position of the CEO, we had actually included it on the organogram, revised organogram. So the position right now is that the court stopped the recruitment of the CEO. But it did not stop us from proceeding to change the CRH to a corporate body. So we'll still, I think once we have passed the law, I intend to move the court to vacate that order, because the reason why the court suspended the recruitment of the CEO was that the law was not there. The law enabling the position of the CEO was not there. Now that His Excellency is going to sign the bill into the law, then I'm very sure the court will agree with us and set aside that order to enable us proceed. So that is the position. But it is not all doctors who are opposed. We have a number of doctors who are actually leading trade unionists. So not all doctors are involved. In fact, we were just taken to court by one of the doctors who is a member of the union leadership.
Maybe you need just to engage them more so that you remove the fear they have that maybe their jobs will be taken over by this new corporation. But as I said, it's a fantastic idea. If well implemented, I think it will be good for the people of Vihiga. But just that assurance that it is not going to cause destabilization to the people, the stakeholders who are there already.
Chair, maybe I believe, I don't know if you did public participation, proper public participation before. Of course, the law, when you did the bill, I believe you did the draft and then you subjected it to public participation. The county assembly also should have done the same. Maybe the resistance, were there any memorandums opposing it?
No, there wasn't.
Okay. So then maybe the reason why they went to court was just because of that oversight. When you ran and advertised before you signed the law yourself. So we leave it at that. Let your attorney do the necessary thing to go to court so that it can be vacated, and then you can re-advertise again. So please, let's go to Amat.
Thank you, Chair.
So you stop. The outside, yeah? Good, quickly. Good, let them settle quickly. It looks like they are on a bati. Kona harusi. Kuja pole pole. Good, quick introduction for the new members.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I have with me the Chair of the Amalsi Water Board, who can lead the rest of the team in the introduction. Chair.
Good, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable and Chair of this session. I'm Josephine Nyambasi, the Chair of the Board of Directors, Amalsi Water Services. With me, I have a management team. I think I'll ask MD to introduce them.
Good, MD, introduce yourself and then you give the others opportunity to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Chair. My name is CP Edwin Bukwe, the Managing Director at Amalsi. In terms of management team, I'm accompanied with the Senior Operations and Maintenance Officer, Mr. Julius.
Let's give them the mic. Give everybody mics to say their names and what they do.
Good afternoon. My name is Julius Kebwere. I'm the Senior Operation and Maintenance Officer at Amalsi Water Services Company, Technical Department.
Good. The next one.
Good afternoon. I'm Herbert Mtiva, Senior Commercial Officer, Amalsi Water Services Company Limited.
Good afternoon. I'm Mercy Mbone, the current Internal Auditor at Amalsi Water Services.
Anybody who has not? I think you have not.
Yes, Chair, Honorable House. My name is Mulongo Mesha Konsere. I'm the County Executive Committee member for Environment, Water, Energy and Natural Resources.
The lady next to you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I am Noel Malala.
The issues relating to accounting, inaccuracies, all those things, just make not reading the response verbatim. You just give general response.
Thank you, Chair. Paragraph 1, actually to paragraph 8 relates to accounting issues. Paragraph 1, there was a variance between the financial statement
Almost less than a year ago to come and deal with these issues. So we would like him to address some of the issues where we are on these accounting issues.
Get MD your comments, general comments on all these inaccuracies and incompetence.
He's himself a CPA, so he should be able to deal with it.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be brief, but before I answer, kindly allow me to just give you a quick overview of the situation at the company. What I used to say when we came in, we lacked 4 key staff. Number one, we didn't have an internal auditor. We didn't have a finance manager because of litigation. And then we had an accountant who unfortunately just passed 1 month before the process of reporting started, and also an accounts assistant. What I can say is that fortunately the board has been able to recruit a finance manager who is joining us this coming months, also an accountant, and we have an internal auditor who joined us. She's here. And through the Department of Audit, we've been able even to come up with a policy. That is the risk policy and the anti-fraud policy. So mine is just to commit, to make a commitment to this honorable committee that moving forward and going by the for the current financial year, you'll see an improved reporting. All these issues came up because we didn't have 4 key staff in the year under review. Thank you.
Honorable members, maybe comments. You know, these are the same issues that we had with the hospital. We had the same issues that we had also with the municipality. That's why we said there was no need to repeat ourselves going through the same. So we just make quick comments on them. Senator Mbukwa, Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Chair. In the circumstances of what the CEO has explained, who then prepared these statements and who signed them? Because it appears those officers were not there.
Thank you, Chair. Fortunately, we had a CPA who was in another department. That was the commercial, Mr. Herbert Mutiva, just as a step in, because, you know, whoever was there died unexpectedly. He just, the parents just found him dead in the bed. So it means that we had to have Mr. Mutiva come in to assist us. Thank you.
Kavindu.
Chair, my question was almost the same. We also wanted to know if Mr. Mutiva is a qualified accountant and is in good books with this park, so that we can know what caused all these differences in accounting.
Good bit.
Yes.
Just related.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you, Chair. Just related to what my colleagues are asking, I'm just wondering about Vihiga County. Why is it that there are so many issues on accounting, on bookkeeping? All through. This is that document we are looking at, and the same issues. Why is it only in Vihiga? Why?
Good, Governor.
Well, I think we have canvassed a number of issues, and some of the issues that we have had, why we have had this problem, is lack of qualified staff, particularly in our entities that were created. And that's where we have had a lot of challenges. But as you have noticed, Chair, we have gone out of the way and now recruited competent and qualified personnel, particularly in accounting. Most of the time, when I came in, most of the accounting or department had many of the accountants who are not qualified, or some who had just been moved from one department and came in and learned accounting on job. So we have done quite a lot, and
we're looking forward to improvement. And in this case of the Amatsi Water Services, we had the same problem, and we have recruited somebody who is coming on board.
Chair, allow me to remind the governor, you are the CEO of Vihiga County, and you know you are my governor because of the party I belong to. You are serving your final term. You need to look back and see the legacy you have left behind. For 2 terms, you have been having incompetent staff. Is that what you are telling this committee?
Initially on Amatsi, before this committee came in and took over the auditing, the looking at how these entities work. Initially, we had been made to believe that Amatsi, these water companies were independent. So for my first term, they were working as independent, and they were not even reporting to me. Until when this committee came in place, is now when it flagged and made us now realize this company belonged to us.
Senator from Vihiga.
I think maybe because we have seen a similar challenge with the other reports, and they have agreed that there will be a correction of the same. Maybe what we can say is that the accounting, the finance people, particularly the ones who sign the financial statements, should be held accountable. We can allow them allow them this time, but I think next year, then the law should be invoked. The penalties will be directed to the people who are directly liable, starting with the CEO and the accountants involved. So then the penalties are you either go in for 3 years, or you pay 5 million, or both. And this committee has the powers to give those directions. So maybe as the chair, you can say that we will be lenient now, but in the next financial year, which they are going to correct, if there will be no corrections, then I think we will have to punish the officers involved. And the other punishment also includes this committee writing to your professional body, ISPAC, to clearly state that this is a misconduct, because the regulations are there, the public sector accounting board is there, which all accountants have been trained. So there shouldn't be any excuse. So maybe I think that's the directive that I thought, Chair, we can give.
Okay.
Because we have seen the reason why this committee is very, very particular about this is because we have seen queries which should not become queries. Queries that on simple things which really should not be queries, and then which end up now giving the county a bad image, just because someone has not done his job. So what we agreed is if someone has not done his job, we will not just go, we will not look at the governor. We will go for that officer involved. So I think that is the
direction.
That is the message that should go out.
Good, Mark, and then I can give the message.
Yes, Chair. Mine was just to observe that the officer who signed, Mr. Herbert, there's probably not even an ISPAC member because the number is not even indicated. So I think it's even a worse situation, Chair, if I could put it that way.
Governor, your comments on that?
Well, he's here, he can.
Where is the fellow signed?
Through the chair, Governor usibebe msalaba ya mtu.
Good.
Thank you, Chair. I'm CPAK. Unfortunately, I've not applied for the practicing number. And then, towards the year end, the officer who was in charge actually passed away, and the time in between, he actually left us. I could not even had that opportunity to maybe apply for that ISPAC number. But I'm CPA finalist, CPAK.
Chair.
Oh. I mean, from that time up to now, you have not applied. So it is, you don't want professional responsibility. That's what it means.
Chair,
Yes, Kavindo.
I still want to know if Governor is working closely with the county attorney, because the county attorney would have advised him on what to do than this mess.
Yes, we are working together, but as I said earlier, this company, before it had been it was believed that it was independent and they operated. In fact, they are not even near where the headquarters. They were operating completely independent until when this committee came in. So yes, there has been lapses, but we are going to correct it.
Good. My colleague there, my friend there, when are you applying? Why are you not doing it?
It is true that I don't have it, but Chair, due to the needy and rising circumstances, I need to apply for the membership.
So Governor, give him notice, maybe within a month or so. If he doesn't apply, then you can give another fellow who wants to be accountable. You can give another person the job.
We have already recruited somebody to take over. So somebody is just coming at the end of this month.
Good. You had the directions. So the accountants, the guys who are signing the documents, we are lenient, but the next 2025, 2026, we'll take tough measures. We'll not forgive anybody who sleep on the job. Let's go to number 11, unsupported refundable deposits and non-revenue water. Those are the last two that we'll do.
We have paragraph 9 on long outstanding trade receivables. Huh?
Let me just give a comment. Just give a comment. The governor will give a comment, and then we go to the deposits.
Yes, we are saying that the recoverability of the trade receivables is doubtful. That is paragraph 10, unsupported bank balances. This was supported. So I go to unsupported refundable deposits. The statement of financial position reflects refundable deposits and prepayment balance of 14,179,462. However, the balance as the comparative opening balance disclosed in 26 to the financial statement reflected 13,885, 388. It is not clear, and management has not explained the increase of the Kenya shillings 284,074 of the customers' deposits. Further, the bank statement reflected an opening balance of Kenya shillings 192,508, which is at variance with customers' deposits of Kenya shillings 13,895, resulting to an reconciled variance of Kenya shillings 13,702,880. In other words, Chair, what we are saying is the customer deposits exist, but we don't know, they are not well supported. Then there is also long outstanding payables of...
Let's leave that. We'll take the written submissions for that.
Okay, okay.
So, Governor?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just allow me to make some few remarks, and then I ask the MD to elaborate.
Members on the response page 13.
Yeah. The issue of long outstanding trade receivables, Chair, I think is an issue we will need direction from this committee how to deal with this issue. Because if you read the history of this company, it was formed way back in 2007 when we were still working under the municipalities, the county government, the municipalities. And from that time, by the time the county governments came in place and this company continued, that time all the applications for people to become, to get water was going through the district accountant. And all those documents were going to the district commissioner's office. But when now we had the county government come in, no records were given to this company from the district water officer. So from there, they only have records that are very scanty, and even they have tried to locate some of the clients who are there whose list has been given, but it's not possible. So going forward, Chair, we will need a direction on how to deal with this, because in the last audit report, these questions were there, and they are repeating. So we will need to get a directive on how to go about it. But let me now ask the MD.
You can also make comment on the deposits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me allow the MD to give a few comments on the same.
Thank you, Chair. Despite these variances as a company, we've made an effort by placing a standing order of 50,000 every month. As His Excellency has just explained, this money was never received by the company. It only exists in the financial statements. And we cannot even link those customer deposits to a certain customer. So it has been a challenge, but nonetheless, we just have a standing order which we have attached as an X7 of 50,000 shillings to go to that particular account. Additionally, we have come up with a debt management policy that we have also attached to ensure that sorry, I was just mixing up on that one. So what we have done is, apart from the standing order, as His Excellency has clearly explained, we'll need the directive of the committee on how well we are going to handle this, because they appear in our books as a liability. But as I've said, these are not money that we received in our accounts. So we'll need the directive and assistance from this committee, so that if we can only disclose and not let them reflect in our accounts, or maybe what we should do. Thank you.
So, Chair.
Senator Audt.
I think, Chair, I think the explanation is valid. Some of these debts are very, very old, but then the company needs to have a policy on how to handle such debts. And one way in an accounting way you can do that is you seek the board's approval, maybe the county assembly approval, to declare these debts bad and doubtful debts, so that they appear in your financial statements as such. Otherwise, if they remain the way they are, this will continue to be an audit query for many times to come. Chair, just to add on that, I became a customer of this company after the last meeting, when I said I don't have water. So 1 month later, I was connected to water. I'm very grateful for that. But then I have not received your bill. I have not received your bill, and I've been asking my manager, where is the bill? I want to pay. There is no bill. So how many other customers are like me, who are ready to pay and there is no bill? And maybe that is what is causing this problem. Manager.
Honorable members, I agree sometimes some of these issues come up, but we've largely not been having an auditor. But now that we have an auditor, she'll be making sure that we go through, but we'll follow up with your issue. I can assure you that you'll get your bill.
Because when this committee asks for the list of defaulters, I don't want to be there.
Kabindu, that book.
Thank you, Chair. Does it mean that you have completely no list of customers who have paid deposits to this company?
Thank you, Chair. We have partly some of those customers, but for largely this about 14 million, we don't have those. We cannot link that money to any particular account. These are very old account. Probably someone was keeping a manual register book, which cannot be traced. Thank you.
But in the bank statement, it shows the customer deposits, auditor.
The amount that was reflected during the year was quite retro. As at year end, the amount was 441,595. In fact, we noted that in the course of that year, there were some transactions, an amount of 710,000 had been withdrawn from that account to pay some salaries.
This year, this particular year?
This particular year, yes.
Then in that case, then we should read them the law of borrowing from such an account of the deposits so that we can know if the board is in place and the board approved it, the borrowing, and the county assembly also, and it should only be 5%, and this 5% should be repaid back in a period of 1 year.
Good. Mukwa, you want to make a comment before they read the law?
Mine was just maybe to inquire from the CEO. Probably there is a policy within the water company that some certain prominent individuals within the county should not be paying for their water, and the senator doesn't know.
And they should also tell us if their neighbor here, the governor, the county assembly, the county has bills, and are they paying? Are they up to date in their payments?
Get Wakili and then MD.
Thank you, through you, Chair. The section that has been mentioned by Honorable Senator is it's section 142 of the county government, of the PFM Act rather, and that is it provides for borrowing by county government entities, and it reads as follows, through you, Chair. The County Assembly may authorize short-term borrowing by county government entities for cash management purposes only. Subsection 2, any borrowing under subsection 1 may not exceed 5% of the most recent audited revenues of the entity. And subsection 3, a county government entity that has any such borrowing shall ensure that the money borrowed is repaid within a year from the date on which it was borrowed. And then, Chair, there does the committee for directions on how to do it with the bad debt. There is, with your kind permission, section 150 of the PFM, and this section is on writing off of the writing off of any loss, and that is accounting officer of a county government entity may write off any loss, and it provides as follows, subsection 1. An accounting officer for a county government entity may write off any loss not exceeding an amount in circumstances prescribed by regulations for the purposes of this section. Subsection 2, an accounting officer for a county government entity may, with the approval of the county executive committee member for finance, write off loss of a loss exceeding the amount referred to in subsection 1 but not exceeding a further amount in the circumstances prescribed by regulations. And then under subsection 5, it is states that any loan write-off is to be done in accordance with the regulations approved by Parliament. And then with your permission, Chair, when you go to the PFM, the county government regulations, and there is a whole part on that, on the issue of write-off, and maybe the relevant regulation would be Regulation 150 of the same PFM county government regulations on writing off of losses, where under paragraph 1, an accounting officer may only write off losses owed to the state if he or she is satisfied that A, all reasonable steps have been taken to recover the loss and the loss is irrecoverable, or B, he or she is convinced that recovery of the losses would be uneconomical, and B, it would be to the advantage of the county government entity to effect a settlement of its claim or to waive the claim. And then paragraph 2, an accounting officer shall ensure that all losses are written off are done in accordance with the PFM Act, the regulations, and any other relevant legislation. Thank you, Chair.
Governor.
I would like to get more clarification because this is when you have the loan, what he has read. But in this case, we are holding money from depositors, people who deposited money for connection to water. So I don't know whether there is that regulation or rule or procedure to allow that.
I think that the write-up is on long outstanding debt, but for deposits, is basically that your MD has said you already have a 50,000 standing order every month going to the deposit account.
but we do not know the people who actually would benefit from this because they have not come even to demand. And the records we have are such that cannot be verified.
You just hold it continuously until...
The issue we were asking is how long shall we keep on depositing the money in anticipation that
Somebody
the
might
people
come.
we owe money will come?
So long as you have not ceased the water company, if it is dead.
Okay.
Kabindo?
Yeah, Chair, because this money is for deposits. So it should be kept there until the owners come back for them. Maybe they'll come. Two, the borrowing. There is money which was borrowed from that account to pay salaries. That is the money I'm following up with the law.
So
if it was done in the correct way.
The
Did the
700.
board sit to approve? Did the county assembly sit to approve before they borrowed the money?
The 740 something thousand. MD?
Chair, probably we have the chair for the board.
You're a good
She's
chair.
here.
All right.
She can be able to respond.
Thank you so much, Chair. I think any borrowing, the management always seek approval from the board. Probably what was not done is approval from executive.
From county assembly.
Or county assembly, yes.
So that goes contrary to the law of borrowing, and the money should also be borrowed like 5% only and be refunded within 1 year period. That's what the law says.
Good members, we are running out of time. Please, let's go to auditor, the last one, non-revenue water.
Thank you, Chair. Non-revenue water. Review of technical report provided for audit revealed that the company produced 1,977,435 cubic meters of water during the year, out of which 1,332,958.7 cubic meters was billed to its customers for Kenya shilling 74,381,800. The balance of 644,476.3 cubic meters, representing 33%, was not billed, which is 8% percentage points, 8% percentage points above the allowable threshold of 25% set by the Water Service Regulatory Board, WASREB. Further, monthly billing reports generated from the billing system, Magisoft, reflected actual water bill of 735,759 cubic meters at Kenya shilling 60,109,390, which is at variance with the technical report billing of 1,977,435 cubic meters, resulting to an explained variance of 1,241,676 or 63%, representing non-revenue water, which is above the allowable level of 25% set by WASREB. It is not clear, and management did not explain the huge variances between the system report and the technical committee report. The significant level of non-revenue water is an indication of inefficiency and ineffectiveness in the use of public and water resources, which may negatively impact on the company's profitability and its going concern. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, please.
Chair,
response.
Allow me to request the MD to respond on that.
Thank you, Chair. Indeed, it's true. We agree that non-revenue water is a challenge.
Just read your response.
Okay. Our response is the management acknowledges the auditor's observation in the above subject matter and response as follows. The reported variance in non-revenue water between billing system and the technical report was as a result of flat rates and estimated consumption by some of our water consumers where water meters had not been connected, and the billing system could not recognize the flat rate consumption as it is programmed to only recognize metered stroke actual consumption for billing. The accounts were billed separately, and the general consumption included in technical reports were billed in meter cubic. which brought the variance as per the Auditor General's report. The management has since engaged the vendor of Magisoft billing system to upgrade and improve the performance of the billing system. Number two, due to financial constraints, the company was not in a position to meter all customers, resulting to flat rate billing, which contributed to high non-revenue water. The management has since metered all accounts. Number three, during the heavy rainfall, high silt deposit clogged most of our water infrastructure, and the silt deposits ended up at the customer meters, leading to under-registering of consumption from some installed meters. Implementation of meter servicing is continuously done to check on clogged meters. Four, additionally, an unrevenue water unit has been formed, headed by a manager as per WASREB guidelines and non-revenue water structure. Five, in the year under review, there were various roadworks, including upgrading of Maram roads to tarmac, which led to damages and vandalism of our water pipelines, hence the high non-revenue water. The current water infrastructure within water service providers' area of jurisdiction is old and dilapidated, with old PVC pipes and GI pipes which are prone to bursts and leakages. To correct this, the management did a proposal to Lake Victoria North Waterworks Development Agency for gradual phasing out of PVC and GI pipes, which has since been considered under the proposed Vihiga cluster last mile connectivity. Lastly, inadequate support transport leading to delay in response time to attend to bursts and leakages has since been addressed after acquisition of 4 motorbikes to enhance mobility challenge. We have attached several annexes to support the statement.
Good, Auditor. The real non-revenue water, is it 63 or 33? And then you make your comments also.
I think what we could confirm is that 3%. Yes.
Any comments on the response? And then I'll give members opportunity to make their comments.
Pardon?
Okay, you're okay with the response?
Yes, I'm okay.
Mbukwa, please.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe a clarification from the auditor. What the county senator said is not being billed. Does what is not billed constitute non-revenue water? And also, I want to know from that global non-revenue water, were you able to establish what is commercial and what is physical?
Well, what is not billed will be non-revenue water, because actually it will have flowed through the system and it will have been metered. So that is an issue that is true. That part of what is not captured as revenue water has actually been taken, and some people have not been billed. It happens, but mostly. Most of the non-revenue water happens because some people will circumvent the system, and others will be connected, but somehow the people who are supposed to be reading the meters do not include them in their list. Those are some of the things that happen. Thank you.
Is it that he intimidates the people who go to read the meters, or what happens?
I don't think it's intimidation. I don't think it's intimidation.
Okay, on the commercial and the technical percentage, were you able to establish?
Maybe I can help you that on Senator. That is for the technical team at the water company to establish and report, because they're the ones who have the analysis of what's physical and what's commercial. In fact, that's a question we've been asking as a committee. We have the non-revenue water, of what percentage is it commercial and what percentage is physical. So then we're able to see the mitigation measures. Will they be able to address the non-revenue, or will it remain as an audit query? Thank you, Chair.
There was somebody who said he's a senior technical officer from the water company.
Yes, he's there.
Give him the mic.
Yes, thank you, honorable members. It is true that our non-revenue water was reported at 33, and it is also attributed to the fact that we have low establishments in terms of fighting non-revenue water, and we are still working to filter the commercial and technical losses, and that is why we have communicated the vendor to come and have some upgrades in the system so that we can separate the technical and and the commercial losses. Thank you, members.
Chair,
Yes, Kavindo.
is the water company owed any money by the hospitals or on the county government? And how much?
MD, how much is your neighbor owing you? I know Sotsi is owing, but you don't know how much. But the governor, in terms of the hospitals, he wants to pay now. Give the pay bill. MD,
thank you. Indeed, it's true. We are owed some money by the hospital. I think last time we checked, it was around 3 million Kenya shillings.
Have they paid or
And
they
the
have not?
county?
No, the county has cleared. We only have delays when there's delayed disbursements. But once they get their money, they always pay.
So right now they don't owe the company any monies?
Yeah, the county no, but the referral hospital, yes.
But they have the FIF money, which 30% is being held by the department. So those are. And Senator Sotsi, please.
Well, let me start by appreciating the new MD for the good effort he's doing. But I want to say this issue of non-revenue water, it's an issue that you really need to work hard on. Because even looking at the query, it is not clear as to the non-revenue water we are talking about, because your technical committee is saying 33%, and your Magisoft software is talking about 63%. So which one can we trust? Is it the 63 or the 33? But then looking at the report further, the audit report, it makes me believe that maybe the right figure is 63%. And I will tell you why. Because from the report, when MD, I don't know whether you know all your meters and where they are. Do you know all your meters? How many meters do you have? And where they are?
Thank you, honorable members. Currently, we are undertaking the mapping of all our accounts. We are working with the director of GIS at the county.
So right now you don't know the number of meters that you have?
We are, based on the report I received about a month ago, the mapping is around at 90%, and we have around 6,010 customers.
Yeah, because there is a similar query to this that says that you have a customer base of around 11,500, which is around that number of meters. But you have about 5,800 meters which are not active, and there is no schedule indicating where they are. That clearly means you cannot be able to measure your non-revenue water if you do not have information on your meters. So I think that's a very important thing you need to do. And you know, our county is a GIS county, courtesy of the governor. Why don't you use GIS technology in managing these water meters? So that when you provide the non-revenue water figures, they are accurate. Number two, which I wanted you to also say, is the connection of the last mile connectivity, where you provide water to the customers. I know some of these projects have been done by MCS under the ward-based. and some of the pipings that are used in these projects are not up to standard. They are substandard, and that leads to leakages. So maybe you needed to talk about that as well. What system do you have in place to ensure that you have standard quality pipes, so that you don't have pipes that are going to lead further leakages and enhance the non-revenue water? We have seen in other counties where, yes, the MCAs are involved in these projects, but there is a clear framework on the materials that are going to be used to deliver water to the customers, so that they don't end up using substandard materials in the process of trying to save on that. So maybe you need to talk about that as well, so that we clearly understand where the problem is. And then thirdly, also the ownership of those places where you have installed your infrastructure. That could also be a problem, because I know in about 3 places where even the water tank are installed in private land. I can give you an example, Jebtulu, water supply. And I think it's one of the queries that has been raised here. It is on private land. So when we have water installation on private land, how do you ensure that that water is not interfered with? And hence, we have high non-revenue water. Over to you, MD.
Get MD through the governor.
MD, can you respond, please?
Thank you, Chair. First, I wish to confirm that we are working with the Director of GIS to map all our customer. Unfortunately, some of these accounts are very old accounts that probably we might not be able to trace them. But we are working with the Director to ensure that we map all customers that we are actually serving. On the issue, again, of non-revenue water in terms of the pipes, we have the non-revenue water policy that was approved by the board, which clearly stipulates the kind of pipes that we have to use. We've had a challenge largely where customers are still or have illegal connections. But because we did not have an act, but fortunately, I understand that we have the Vihiga water bill that is currently at the assembly, and I'm hoping that once our honorable members come back from the recess, they'll be able to approve so that we are able to prosecute those who have been stealing our water, because we don't have any law for now. You can only come to disconnect once you realize that someone is stealing our water. On the issue of ownership of land, as a company, we really don't have the mandate, but the office of the county attorney, they're the ones who have been trying to assist us to ensure that we get the ownership of the land. So maybe specifically in terms of maybe for Jeptul, the county attorney maybe can maybe give us the updates.
So, County Attorney, just give us what you know about the Jeptul water tank and ownership.
Chair, I'm aware of that land. What happened was that the area MCA wanted to be generous enough, so he declared that he was actually giving that piece of land to the county government. And I think there was a flaw somewhere, because the Amazi Water proceeded, acting on good faith, to install that water installation there. But then when we followed up, when it came to our attention at our office, we did a search on the ownership of the land. We found it did not belong to the MCA who had purportedly donated it. So we have found out that it belonged to the brother. So we have engaged the process of engaging the brother to convince him that he should also follow suit by acting in good faith to allow us take that land without compensation. And if it fails, then we may have to go through the normal process of compulsory land acquisition and compensate him.
Any comments, members? You know, it's good to be honest, you know. Some of us are honest men. So members, maybe quick closing remarks. And silence means we give to the senator for Vihiga.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think I must thank the Governor and your officers for honoring our invitation to deal with the 3 entities in one meeting. And I think we have done justice to the reports and to the people of Vihiga. I just say that we continue to have room for improvement. Every time you appear here, you get new ideas, new insights to go and improve further. And Amazi Water Company is an example of a company that had serious issues, but because of the intervention of this committee, we have seen some very positive steps, but we know that you can still do better because the ultimate goal is to supply water to the people of Vihiga County who really need clean, safe drinking water. I'm also very particular about last mile connectivity, provision of water to the people of Vihiga. And I know there is the Belgium project that has now been completed. What we need is just some investment to have water now delivered to homesteads. And I think Governor and myself have had to intervene at the national level for support so that we get funding to be able to carry out this last mile connectivity project. But in the meantime, we also expect that the company will continue carrying out its mandate, taking into account the governance and accountability issues that are needed to make the company better. I have also visited the company premises, although it was a bit controversial, Chair, when I saw one of the taps that were launched previously, which the people of Vihiga were expecting water and they have not. But then my concern, Governor, is that I saw the offices where these officers sit, and I thought that maybe something needs to be done about the premises where they work, because those offices were not designed for the kind of staff levels they have, and they were designed to be temporary maintenance offices. But now they are sitting in there, the space is too little. Maybe the county government should consider maybe putting up a proper office block for them so that they can work in a better environment. On the hospitals, I think, as I said earlier, I fully support the idea of making the referral hospital a corporation because of what we have seen in other places and because of the best practice globally. Even private hospitals are now being managed by non-medics. I know, like Karen Hospital,
for example, even Nairobi Hospital. So I think it is something, a good idea that we as leaders in the county should support because it's an idea, if well implemented, it can work and benefit our people. The other item is the municipalities, the municipality of Vihiga and the proposed municipalities. It is the wish that the process to make Luanda and Cheptul municipalities should be hastened so that the people can begin to see the benefits, but at the same time, involvement of the public, it's very key. So otherwise, I want to wish you well and encourage that as a committee, we'll be there to support you in these processes and make our county better. Our oversight role is supposed to make sure that you work better and you deliver for the people. It is not supposed to hinder delivery of services to the people. And that has been my position throughout. Still on the hospitals, I had forgotten. I think it's important that we remove politics from the management of our hospitals, particularly Vihiga County Referral Hospital. My office is full of many petitions in these hospitals. Some of them, when investigated, are not justifiable. It is just politics. I think I want to encourage that we let the hospital run as a professional institution, and as leaders we encourage anything good that happens at the hospital, we need to support. And if there is any challenges, we address them as leaders. But introducing politics in health matters to win political support, I think is something that I will not encourage and support. I know they have just finished the hospital, they are about to finish the hospital plaza. That will go a long way in growing the hospital to become better and better. So we will support you, Governor, and your team where necessary, but we will not fall victims to politics in the process of our oversight. We will objectively look at issues that come through our way, especially in health situation. I'm saying this because I posed a question here about the transfer of doctors from Vihiga County Referral Hospital to Emuhaya. It has been an allegation on the ground that a massive number of doctors have been transferred to Emuhaya, where I come from. Actually, it's in my village. And I did investigation and I found out that that is not true. And the superintendent has just confirmed. I think some of these things will create unnecessary tension among our people. So as leaders, I think we need to be very factual and we need to stop politics in our health management. So we address matters that are very factual, matters that are going to take us to quality healthcare for our people. So I think I've talked a bit of politics, but that is it. I had to say it. I think, Governor, we still have one more engagement, I think, on matters of funds, but that will be at a later date, and then I think we'll close this year. But the committee is also making arrangements to visit Vihiga County and see for themselves the status of the three entities that we have discussed today. Thank you very much, and safe journey back to Vihiga County. Thank you, man.
Good. Governor, your last comments.
Chair, on my own behalf and on behalf of my officers who accompany me to this very important meeting. I want to thank you most sincerely. The way you have steered this meeting has been very sober, very cordial, and everybody has been relaxed. When I came in, my officers were a little bit edgy, but I've seen that they are all relaxed, and they have answered the responses in a more very good and enabling environment. So, Chair, I want to thank you for that good stewardship. Second, I want to thank our Senator for the love he has for the county and the zeal he has to see that things are working. For me as a governor, I really appreciate, because as a result of that, many issues that we had overlooked, we have now come out, woken up and seen that we must work out. For example, the emergency water services, we never, as a government, we were just made to believe this is a different entity, and those who are there by then, that's what they portrayed, that we have no business dealing with emergency. It's different. Until when this committee flagged out that this is your company. And I want to say that for the last 1 year, we have had a new MD and we have come in. We are seeing progress. Even the amount of money they are collecting now, before we were paying all their bills for electricity and even their salaries, they had salary arrears. But since the MD came in, we can see the salary arrears he has now reduced, and now they are able to purchase, we were even purchasing for them even the chemicals. Now they are able to do it. So I am convinced that this company is going to become a going concern and will be able to work well. Equally, the hospital, I think, is very important, and I appreciate what the honorable senators have proposed and given us their comments. We are committed to ensure that the hospital is run professionally, and that's why we have gone the way of making it a corporate entity. And with the support of the senator and the support of this committee, we believe we are going to achieve, although we have a lot of resistance. And as the senator has clearly said, there is more politics to it than technical. Most of the issues are purely political. And, but we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. The issue of municipality, I think we have been given direction. The lawyer here has been able to read laws that we can leverage on to see how of the sharing of the revenue. But I still believe this committee should give us direction, because we are all governors, and when we sit together, we say now, if we give out all these things, so what are we going to be doing? We will only now depend on the exchequer just for whatever they will give. And for small counties like mine, ours, that's Vihiga and Elgeyo Marakwet, Lamu, we get so little money that most of the money I receive from exchequer, I pay salaries, except very little. In fact, I was better off when I was a member of parliament than when I'm now a governor. Because as a member of parliament, I had more money to run a constituency. Now, in the 6 sub-counties, what I have as just money for now development, each sub-county is about just 50 million only. So there isn't much I can do. And then, of course, the MCS come in with their demands. So I've even surrendered even the little money that we are able to marshal to MCS, but of course we have to do the projects for them. So I believe this committee and the members, my good friend Chesang, who is the chair, and my senator, when it comes to this formula, please, even if we have to maintain the current formula, but let's have affirmative action so that the counties that get less than 5 billion, at least will be upgraded to 6. Then from there, the same formula works. We will be better off. But as of now, it's a real challenge for us who are governors for these small counties. I can tell you, sometimes I feel like I should just have remained a governor. I mean, an MP, because the MP is, and also being in this institution, everything is structured, and therefore you work within a